test here quick. Test. 1, 2, 3. All right. Welcome back to the Toki Fresh Podcast, only on the Toki Beat Network. My name is David, and I'm not here with Jordan this week. I'm here with Jay, the other Jay man.
Yeah, mate, it's a pleasure, honestly. To replace Jordan for a week is like a huge honor, so thank you for having me on.
Of course.
And it's great to see you. I mean, we haven't done this by ourselves for a while.
No, God, no. Like, just you and me. What was the last episode? I was going to say, what was the last episode we did of our other podcast?
I think it was Hanabi,
It was in July, I remember that.
it was like July 2022, so it's been well over a year.
Yes.
So, but you've got a new setup, you got new cameras.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, it's if we do any other kind of recording, like, it's the quality already has jumped significantly, especially with these microphones. They're just so much clearer.
Absolutely.
And they cut out so much other room sound.
Yeah, and hey everyone watching on the stream and listening as well. I hope I can do a good job.
Of course, I'm a fucking nonce and didn't hit record, but we've only lost like the first, I don't know, like 30 seconds.
We'll re-record it later or whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, how you been, man? Like, what's
I've been
going on?
alright. Oh god, I don't know, man. Like, life is just kind of
Shit.
Like, it's not that it's bad. It's just I gotta look for a job again. Like, and I've just been putting it off. I'm like, I don't want to fucking work.
Yeah.
I just don't.
What is it? Is it we were talking about this recently.
Yeah.
It was the rug pull.
Yeah,
we were
that
on about
that
this.
really like has, and maybe it's a little bit unfair, but like that situation that I was put in at my last job really put me on like where I'm just like, I'm so fucking tired of dudes in suits or people who just like have no idea what is going on with their own business or their own employees, just like having this attitude of like, I know better, when like they sit in a fucking office and they don't know shit. It's like
they see it purely from a money standpoint.
Right, yeah.
You
It's
know,
like, does the bank account become bigger? If yes, then good, right? And then so like that really for me just kind of fucks with my want to work.
your
not
motivation.
I just like, I'm not motivated. I'm more happy just staying home and doing like whatever. But it's a realization that it's like, you know, okay, I have to go to work eventually. Like, it's not a if, it's a when. And there's opportunities now where I'm like, you know, I should like start trying to do stuff.
Yeah, like our boy's got plenty of opportunities. He's kind of sent to me as well. Jordan, I mean, lots of stuff in the industry, but I had a problem recently. I don't want to go too much into it because it's very sensitive, but I got an offer for a job, and then the rug pull after months of basically being told that I'm going to get this, and then eventually it's like nowhere near that expectation. And I wouldn't even call it an expectation. It was like a dead cert almost, and then they just turn around and go, well, we'll offer you a base of absolutely fucking nothing.
Right,
and then I'm like, okay, well.
At this point, I think you're probably in the same position that I'm in, where like we both did that ALT job, right? And it doesn't pay. Like even
Yeah.
now, especially with the yen just kind of tanking.
We're working for nothing.
Well, yeah, we're
basically.
essentially working for nothing.
Yeah.
And I imagine the company is probably in the same situation where they're like, fuck, like we don't have any money now.
Yeah.
But that's, regardless, is like, you know what the wages are for those jobs. And then I look at what I was getting paid at my previous job and then what I was getting paid at as an ALT. And I'm like, I don't ever want to go back to being an ALT. Because by the time I had finished that 1 year
Yeah.
of like the other job where I was getting paid like an extra, I think it was like $1,600 a month.
Yeah.
Like an extra $1,600.
Yeah, you were making bank.
I was making I was making an average wage.
Yeah.
So for
exactly
a
an
foreigner,
average.
that's like, wow, holy shit, because no one wants to pay a foreigner more than fucking pennies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So at the end of that job, I was like, wow, I'm fucking balling. Like I've never had this much money in my bank account. When my bank account, I looked at it the one day, and it was over $1.5 million yen. I was like, holy shit! I've never seen a number
more
this
money
big.
than I know what to do with. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen. Well, like what? Yeah, what do I do with this? Because like, the problem is when you live as an ALT, right? You just kind of live. I think you have two options. You either live very frugally and save up some money, or you're poor as fuck because you spend all of it.
Or you spend all your money on bentos, like what I did in
Yeah,
the first year, because I lived on top of a 7-Eleven, which is dangerous.
I mean, I did that too. I mean, you mean like for
Like,
like work
dinner
and stuff?
shit. Like,
Dinner, I usually
I
made
didn't
my
cook
own stuff.
anything that first year because 1, I was inept. 2, I didn't want to fucking do it. And 3, the bentos were all right. I mean, I had one recently because I got up pretty late, didn't make my sandwiches. But and I just tasted it. I was like, this is shit. How did I manage to do this for a whole year?
Right,
You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Like I
the
eat,
food's a
I
bit-
eat a bento like almost every day now from the kombini for lunch.
Yeah.
But that's mostly just because I don't want to cook fucking 3 times in a day.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I don't want to make breakfast, lunch, and dinner because then I'm spending the entire day in the fucking kitchen. I'm just like,
Yeah.
unless you're paying me to be a chef, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and like in our previous like schools, for instance, you
Right.
had Kyushoku, which
Yeah,
was,
exactly.
like, balanced.
I
Even
mean,
though
but-
sometimes it'd be whale meat or like
Yeah, sometimes it was a little bit of weird shit.
the one thing I hated, man, like because they used to publish the menu. I don't know if they ever did that with you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
the Kyoto sensei would come around and go, "Oh, James sensei, here is the menu for this month's Kyushoku starting from next Monday.
right, yeah,
Yoroshiku. Do you have any like allergies?" And I'm like, "No,
No.
I'm good. I'm allergic to shit food, but that's about it." And
There's plenty of that to
you,
go around.
yeah, you
Unfortunately.
you look and it's like Monday. You got saba and rice and the little military ration tin.
Yep.
You know, encapsulates all that flavor. You got furikake one day with the rice, everything. You got burger, like not with the bun, but like a hamburg.
Hamburg, yeah.
Pretty good hamburg. I don't really usually like hamburg.
But the thing is, like, Kyushoku at your school is like fucking 200 yen. Like,
yeah,
it's
nothing.
basically
And-
nothing.
and you're full.
Yeah.
And the one thing with me though, as a teacher, like at the time, they used to set up the Kyushoku for the staff in the staff room, of course, and they started doing it around second period. So when you have your lunch around fourth period or whenever, it was as cold as Mr. Freeze's bollocks. Honestly,
okay.
it was fucking freezing.
Can we talk about this? Why do Japanese people fucking love cold bentos? I've eaten so many fucking cold bentos where it's just like, oh, we're gonna have a bento. And I'm like, cool, awesome, a nice like warm meal.
hearty.
And I get it. It's
kinda,
like,
yeah.
here's a thing of shake, fucking cold. Here's a thing of like noodles, fucking cold.
Yeah.
And it's like, you get like, what is it? Spaghetti or something,
Yeah.
right? You know how like
Freezing.
if you have like tomato sauce on spaghetti and you like put it in the fridge,
Yeah.
and it just becomes like this like chalky, like dried out
Sweet
mess.
kind of, yeah. Just
It's like that every fucking time, and they're like, oishi, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oishikune
Ooh,
yo.
already cooked chicken that is like it's like been in the Arctic for like
God.
honestly, you like try and chew through it and it's just
And just like the grease from the chicken
pull out
has
your molar.
like
Yeah.
seeped into the batter,
Oh,
and it's
God,
like,
yeah.
ugh,
It's like
ew.
soggy.
Yeah,
It's like a
fucking
soggy
gross.
biscuit. Anyways, on this menu, the one thing I hated, apart from the odd whale that they snuck in there,
Yeah, right.
which was a bit of a bit of a curveball.
Mr. Tanaka went and hunted a whale last week, so he just put it on the menu.
Yeah, for me, it was the corn soup. It was like
A cold corn soup?
cold, watery.
Okay,
It was disgraceful. And you sit there and you're surrounded by, like, in my case, the support staff and a few teachers from like the 3rd grade, and they're looking at you like, "Was she?" And you're just like, you're like, bullshit, right? Because you don't want to piss them off.
Mm-hmm.
But I know the case of one ALT, and she will remain nameless. And I know about this because my friend was doing.
Do I know this person? I assume I know
we
this
all
person.
know this person.
Because
we all know this person. She's still here as well, if that narrows it down. But out of our, like, I would say original group. Yeah.
Give me the first letter of their name.
C.
Okay. I know who it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So they did apparently like a Sepro. You know what Sepro is, right?
Yeah.
Where like 10 ALTs, just 10 jaded ALTs and one not so jaded ALT will get into a meeting room, and then the not so jaded ALT will go, "Hi everyone, it's my first day," and then everyone else is like, "Fuck, this is like our 7th year of doing this shit. Why are you so chirpy? Fuck this school." Everything, right?
Yeah,
that's the one person in the room that's going, "Itadakimasu" before they eat, and everyone's just like, "Fuck's sake, man! Like, we're gonna break this person in, right?"
Right.
Anyways, so I had a mate called Lewis. He's now working on cruises. Like, his Instagram is like, he's in New Mexico and then he's in fucking the Bahamas one week. He lives the life of Riley, right? He's a musician. Anyways, he was a nutbox, right? He was the craziest bloke I ever met. And he sent me this voice message, and he goes, "Oh, I'm on this Sepro with C and a group of people, and we're having Kyushoku." And C basically just pulls whatever she took the first bite out of her mouth, throws it on the plate, walks straight up to the principal, throws it on his desk, and goes, "This is shit." And I was like, and he sent me this voice message just going, "Bro, this has just happened in front of me." She goes, "I hate this food. Like, do better." Just walk back, and then just pulled a fucking bento out of her bag.
I love that she had a backup plan. Like, she already knew.
Yeah, she knows exactly what she's getting into. Oh my god, she's fun though. She's fun.
Oh no, I agree.
Yeah, she's a great person actually. But
was it over corn soup?
I don't know actually. It could have been whale. That's the thing. Because the whale equation is weird because from Canada, I don't know the whaling laws or whatever, or like if it's a staple of your diet, right?
No.
But in the UK,
it might be to like native people in like the Arctic fucking circle, but
people get outraged in the UK because it's just something that you don't. It's up there with like dog or cat, right? Or horse. Even horse in the UK is like,
right.
You bet on them, you kill them, but you don't eat them. Right? That's the rule in the UK.
Glue and racing. That's all we need.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I remember getting it, and I was like, yeah, quite chewy. Yeah, it's all right. You know, it's okay. Bit bland, you know.
Yeah, I mean, usually
it's
for
raw,
me,
you know.
Usually for me, it's just I stomach it,
It's
and
bland.
I'm like, you know,
yeah,
it's convenient on the way home. I think I'll be okay.
Yeah, but then I was like, "What's this?" And because I couldn't fully read the menu at the time because kanji, right? And they just went whale, and I was like, "The fuck you mean?" You know. But I'd already finished it.
That's so weird for Kyushoku.
Yeah, and we were in the mountains. We weren't near an ocean, so it was kind of like. I mean, yeah, they sauce it or whatever. Like, it's frozen. You know, it's frozen. But
like
sorry,
I'm flip flop.
I'm on a Gordon Ramsay binge because I was showing the guy I work with, Gordon Ramsay, animated. You know when he just turns into like a giga kind of like
yeah
Chojin, like just beast man, just going get fucked like this. Take off your fucking jacket like this. But yeah, I've just noticed that on the stream it's delayed on my phone, just my head wobbling around. But yeah, Kyushoku, man, I do miss it. But like you said, if you have that every day, 5 days a week, you don't need to cook, of course, and you know what I mean. It kind of fills a hole, and it's super cheap. Like I kind of missed that going out of my paycheck towards the end because the last place that I was at, you bring your own basically.
Yeah.
So,
I always had to bring my own for most of the time.
Yeah.
But like I got into a habit of like eating 5 meals a day, but like eating small stuff.
Yeah.
So like in the morning I'd have like 2 onigiri, and then I wouldn't eat till like dinner usually.
Small portions, but so many courses.
Yes, exactly.
It's like Red Dwarf.
It's like a Japanese meal.
Yeah, it's like a Japanese. You make love like a Japanese meal.
Yeah.
I just love that little wince he does after that. He just goes, "What the fuck do you mean?" Oh, I haven't seen Red Dwarf in forever. Anyways, what should we talk about? Actually? There's a lot that I kind of want to mention.
Okay, sure. I didn't come into this with a specific topic, so we can.
I kind of want to talk about something that has happened to me over the period of a few years. I deviated my septum in my nose.
Okay.
It's where the line of your nose. Usually, people who take copious amounts of coke and blow.
Mm-hmm.
Usually have it because they snort really hard and it
just dissolves their nose bone.
I'm not a cokehead, but
I wish I was.
No, I'm okay. I just spend my money on just shit, really. Which is
Other addictions.
Yeah, other addictions, other vices. But basically, I blew too hard one day, and I heard it go like this. And ever since then, I'm not able to breathe. I wasn't able to breathe out my left nostril. So you can imagine when you sleep, I was resorting to sleeping
on your one side.
Yeah, and it was awful. Honestly, I couldn't breathe, couldn't smell. And this happened after COVID. So I kept going to a doctor, went to my ENT, gave me meds, gave me the steroid stuff, and nothing was really working. And so my missus knows this woman. Yeah. And her son.
How all stories, great stories start.
This is amazing. And
so
you're gonna love this, right?
Okay.
The woman knew a guy who specializes in massage, and she told me.
Is he like a chiropractor or something?
Kinda, because I also have TMJ in my jaw, right? Clicks and pops and all sorts, and it's frustrating, right?
Yeah.
And she said my son's TMJ and his deviated septum were fixed like that from this guy. And me, after living in Japan for 6 years, I've tried all forms of quackery. I've done the whole acupuncture stuff. I mean, when I had a hernia in my back, just made it worse. I've took Campo. Campo is bullshit.
Yeah, here's some crushed herbs in pill form.
Here's some horny goat weed to cure your fucking ear infection. I'd rather go on Mayo Clinic,
but I have a erection.
I'd rather go on Mayo Clinic and it says that you're gonna die and then just recover naturally, right? You know what I mean?
It's lupus.
Yeah. You have polio.
Yeah.
Anywho, so I thought I'd try it, right?
Fuck it, why not at this point, right?
So we get in the car, we drive all the way to Setagaya. I'm not gonna say where because you'll seek him out if you can find it. Anyways.
You make him sound like this fucking
I don't know, because he's
fucking
kind
yogi
of
master
he's
who
fucking,
lives on the mountain.
He's like this wizard. Honestly, no, seriously, Dave. This will blow your tree.
I got some back problems. Can you fix those?
This story will blow your dick off, mate. It's great, right? So it's a rainy day. Umbrellas out. We run over, and his clinic, is in a clothing store. Right, so automatically I'm like, red flag. Oh, there's Abercrombie, there's whatever, right? So I'm going through the Fenchurch section and all this kind of stuff. Like,
wait, it's just like out the back of he's got like a fucking thrift shop at the front.
So I meet his daughter, and his daughter's
After
really nice.
After I fix your back, your clothes will fit real better. Yeah. You should buy some on your way out.
Could you model for us? Just in the corner. So I spoke to his daughter. She's in like
if you don't, I'll let you replace the mannequin.
It's like, what is that Tom Cruise movie? Was that Mannequin? Where he falls in love with it?
Oh, I don't remember.
I'll just be like scoping people across the street. Just help! Just stuck in the window.
I'm paralyzed.
Yeah. So I meet his daughter who's like in her late 30s, and she's like, he's really good, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll believe that when I see it.
Yeah.
My missus is there, and she's like giggling her tits off because she knows what's going to happen. The woman that recommended him to my missus is there. So they both come in the room with me. So anyway, he comes out from having this cig, and he just goes, James. I was like, yeah, Yoshika, right, go in that room. So in the storeroom, you just open a door. It's a fucking chiropractic room, basically.
Yeah.
With a bed, his own skeleton, everything, right? And he goes, starts clicking his neck. He's like, all right, wear these pajamas. You could literally see my ass. And there's another woman in there that I don't know, and she's giggling, and then my missus, and they're just sitting watching him work, right? So already I'm a bit like, people are watching me having a massage. It's a bit weird, right? So anyways, I sit down on the bed and he's going, oh, your muscles, you're like a rugby player. Do you play rugby? I'm like, nah, not off to a good start. I'm like, if you're some kind of clairvoyant, yeah, I already see.
This is gonna end in a
You're not
happy
Colin
ending,
Fry
and I don't know
or anything
where.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just fucking massage me, right? But after a while, I realize this guy's pretty cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he starts working my back, and he goes, "This is no good." So he sits me on a chair in the corner, and he literally gives me the greatest neck massage I've ever had, right? And at this point, I'm like, "Fucking A, I can go home happy." Cost 6,000 yen, right? And I'm like,
That's like fairly cheap for a massage, to be
fairly
honest.
cheap for a massage, yeah. Fixed my neck, right? I was having some trouble. So then next, right, I've got this jaw problem, this nose problem, and my back was really killing me. So when I walked in, I noticed that he had a really large boiler on the wall, right?
A boiler?
Open up your line chat.
A boiler?
So
Okay.
I was like, what the fuck's that? I've never seen a boiler like that.
What the fuck? What the fuck is this?
That boiler went on my back.
What the shit?
Have you seen the other picture I've attached to it?
Yeah, for fucking SpongeBob, where it's like
SpongeBob.
attached to his ass.
Like, it
or
looks
whatever.
like an iron lung, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just looks like I'm
It looks like you have a fucking marijuana grow up on your ass.
So I'll explain what it is in a minute. But there's a line chat that I have with Jordan, of course.
Yep.
And I just said, Jordan, this guy sorted me out. Right. And he goes, oh, really? Go on. Tell me more. And I just tell him, like, oh, I did this to my neck, blah, blah, blah. My neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack. You know, he did everything, right? And then Jordan's just like, oh, really? Do go on. And I went, wait, it gets better. And then I sent him that picture. I wish I could pull it up, but the voice note Jordan sent me, he was dying beyond belief. He was like choking on his laughter, just going, what the fuck? They put my boy in a giant fleshlight. So anyways, it's his own invention, right? So
That's concerning.
So he wrapped me up in towels. I felt like fucking Imhotep, you know, from the Scorpion King.
Is this the part where he cuts me in half?
Yeah. And he puts all these towels on me and stuff. And then he goes, right, he just fucking pulls it off the wall, just puts it on my back, right?
Yeah.
It's like an airline part. And then he starts heating it up. And he goes, based on your body blood circulation and your core temperature,
Yeah.
a healthy person will reach 140 degrees Celsius. And I was like,
140?
okay. Right? And then
Celsius?
Yeah. And I was
That's like the fucking sun.
yep. And I was like, okay, what if I'm not healthy? And he goes, oh, it will kind of reach a certain heat and then go back down. I went, first of all, what is the point of doing this, right? And he goes, it will loosen up all of the muscles in your back. And I went, okay. So he puts this thing on me.
Sure, fair.
And then he
okay.
goes, right, I'm going out for a ciggy for 10 minutes, right?
Mhm.
So I'm there. You've
Yeah.
seen the picture
Yeah,
for 10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And this thing gradually gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And I'm having a panic attack. I'm like, is this going to fucking explode?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and my missus is there and she's just like, oh, it's reaching like 120. Oh, that means your circulation is really good. And I was like, oh, piss off. And then it's like, 140, you broke 140 like this. I felt like
Right, yeah.
I was going for a Guinness World Record or something. You know what I mean? Like, there's just some guy with a
Only
clipboard
10
just
more
going,
seconds.
141.1, you were just short, you know. And he comes back in and he goes, oh, great circulation. Takes it off.
Yeah.
Gets on my back, starts absolutely beating the shit out of me, basically, right?
Yeah.
Just wrestling with me. He's going, yeah, pulling my arms and kneeing like my spine. I haven't had a back problem since. Right?
It's because he removed your spinal cord.
Yeah, something's gone missing. And then he turns around and he goes like, I was in the same class as Fumio Kishida at tech school.
Okay.
And I went, wow, how was he? And he goes,
Good old Kuso Megane.
yeah. And then I went, how was he as a classmate? He goes, fucking idiot.
Fucking nonce.
and then the
Fucking idiot.
I
The
just
Prime Minister of
but like,
Japan.
think
Fucking
about
idiot.
everything I've said so far.
Yeah.
Right? And this has all happened in the space of 30 minutes.
Right.
So then he goes, your jaw. I was like, okay. Turn over. He like climbs on my face and he starts doing this. right? And he does it like 50 times. And at one point, I'm like, I'm going to be like Harvey Two-Face.
Right.
You know, like where it's just the jaws hanging off. Just,
You look like fucking, what's his
know?
name? You look like the fucking Canadian Prime Minister. What was his name?
Trudeau.
No, Chrétien. Chrétien, where he had a stroke and one side of his mouth is
I
paralyzed.
shouldn't laugh at that, but yeah, I got the picture. But yeah, so, and then he goes, right, sit up, and is it popping? I was like, a little bit, and he goes, right, sit back down, and he's like, boom, 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 like this. Got up, no more popping. Haven't had it since, right? And then this was the thing I was skeptical about, because this requires surgery if it's deviated.
Or does it?
Yeah, or does it, right? So he sits me on the bed, and he literally fucking Undertaker's my nose, right? To the point where I was like, what is this? Get off me. I'm just like this, right?
Yeah.
And then I hear a click, and he just massages it, and it's completely normal, right? And I get up, and I'm just like, what's this sensation? I could smell the room, because I haven't been able to smell for ages, right? And he goes, can you smell? In like really broken English. And I was like, I think so. And then 5 minutes later, because I'm me, I just burst into tears. And I'm like, thank you so much. You're like the greatest. You're like the greatest. Like, shook his hand,
like
gave him a hug.
Logan Paul putting on the colorblind glasses.
And then he goes,
I can see again.
He goes, 6,000 yen. I was like, mate, I'd pay you double that. And he goes, we'll come back again then in like a few weeks. So I was like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Just in case I have any problems. Had no problems since. But ever since I've told that story to people, I've told it to Jordan, I've told it to Dan, like our friends. Yeah. They're like, who is he and where can I get his number?
Where does this wizard reside? Where's his tower?
You will never find him. You will never find him. You know what I mean? It's like when Gandalf goes into like the ether, you know, after he fights the Balrog. He's just falls into the mines of Moria. Fucking dimensions, you know. Yeah.
But he fell into the jacket aisle and I never saw him again.
I just wish people could see that on the stream, but I might have to put it in the Discord later or something.
I could just pull it up.
Oh my god. All right. So, to people just joining us, I had this on my back during a massage. Yeah, it's not the most conventional of inventions, really, but
I mean, hey, it worked.
Yeah, mate. Whatever that guy does, he's a genius. He's an absolute genius. This is why, like, let's not take the piss here, right?
Right.
It worked, right? So
somehow,
right? And like I mentioned, quack doctors also. You find them all everywhere here, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, even normal doctors who have licenses, you'll go in with like a twisted testicle, and then they'll go sleep it off and just give you Campo. And you do not stop there. You know, go to a good doctor. Like, find your sources. If you've got a community of people here, always ask for their opinion as well, because that's how I found a lot of my doctors.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit slow. It'll come up, but there you go.
There it is, yeah. Honestly, pretty cozy.
The 140 degrees.
What it reminded me of was when I was in like elementary school, we had like a fire safety day. Yeah. And we had like tubes in the classroom where you'd have to crawl through. And they put like lights on and put like fake smoke, and you had to like escape your own house. And it just reminded me of that. Except my back was literally on fire. Yeah, it was hilarious. I really wanted to share that with you.
The McDonald's place of back massage.
I used to love that. I used to love those places.
Tubes and stuff.
What was it? Chuck E. Cheese, like in the States.
Yeah.
Charlie Chalks in England, but yeah, honestly. But yeah, my nose is fixed. I can smell.
So you just went to a guy who punched you in the nose and was like, "Yeah, you're fine." Like, what did he like? What was the process for fixing your nose? Right? Did you just like grab your face and just go like?
Well, he pulled the skeleton out the corner that was just hanging on the. I know they use real skeletons for that sometimes, right? Like
probably.
Yeah. Like imagine living all your life to be a fucking science prop. Honestly.
Wait, was it a real skeleton?
No, that was fake. But I mean, like, they do use real ones, like
sometimes, sure, yeah.
But just imagine, like, looking down from whatever spiritual realm there is, just going, stop desecrating my fucking body for research. I never signed this. You just like hanging on a fucking pole where they use an IV.
Just wheel you around.
Yeah, so he pulled out the skeleton and was just like, this area here, he was saying, it's out. And I was like, but I still have a nose.
What do you mean it's out?
My nose is still attached to my face. And he goes, no, There's like a plug. Imagine like a consent, like fucking consent, like a plug socket.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like a 3-prong. That's there in your upper nose.
Yeah.
And he said like it's out and off, and that's what's making it. And I didn't know what he was on about, but he goes, "What I'm gonna do is put it back in." I was like, "Huh?" And he did.
Huh.
Yeah. He literally just.
That's interesting.
How I pictured what he was doing to my face from like an outside angle was. Do you remember Play-Doh?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Play-Doh,
you know when kids just smush it into nothing. That's
or like
basically
squeeze
what
it
he
through
was.
a tube or whatever.
That's what he was doing to my nose.
Yeah.
And now I have a perfect nose.
Okay, sure.
That guy deserves what's the equivalent of a knighthood in Japanese society, like an Order of the Chrysanthemum Throne or something.
Right.
He should be beside Murakami Haruki in like the next kind of, OBE or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He
gets
the
the golden
imagine
sushi.
that?
I
Just-
don't know.
Everybody's there just like, oh, you're that famous author that wrote about the Norway wood or whatever. And
The Norway
yeah,
wood.
who are you? Well, what I do is I run a clothing store, and like if people have back problems, then I just wrestle them into submission, and it fucking works. And then Murakami Haruki turns around and goes, "You know what? I've been having some problems."
I can fix that for you.
Fumio Kishida walks in. What the fuck are you doing?
I love that he went to school with Kishida. That's just like just a
Yeah.
kind of a funny wrinkle
It's
where
just
it's
like
just
the
like
weird
fucking
kind
idiot.
of cherry on top of the whole experience that was. Because I was just like, how can this get any more fucking weird than it already is? He went to school with the current prime minister and thinks that he's not
a fucking
that.
idiot. Yeah.
He's not all that, right?
I mean,
So-
I think that's the opinion of most people. Personally.
At the moment, well, apart from the tax thing, you saw this recently, right? Like,
Oh
he's,
yeah, fucking Chiro was telling me about it today. That his like he gained a nickname on Twitter that was like.
I love how you're still calling it Twitter, by the way.
I mean, it's
everybody
it's
does,
fucking
right?
Twitter.
It's just
like,
etched into the consciousness, right?
But
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically like what his name was, but he was like something like he was like translate. No, it's like something like tax glasses or something like that was his name, like tax glasses. And then I forget what it was called. It started with an F.
Tax glasses.
They were calling him something like just like I forget what it was. Something. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And then like recently he went like back on what he said he was gonna do for like the taxes, right? He said he's like gonna repay everyone like for Yonman or whatever, right?
Right, yeah.
But like it's more, you get more money if you're like in a lower tax bracket, so you can get up to like Nanamang if you're in a lower tax bracket.
But what's
right?
that, like under 100K a month?
Yeah, but the fucking problem is that the people that actually need the money, who are doing like work and are actually like need the money, are gonna get less than all the old people who are retired and don't work but still pay taxes, right? So they're gonna get nanamang for doing fuck all and being old, and the people that actually need the money are gonna get jack shit.
Well, the pension is like nothing, isn't it? Like,
Oh yeah.
like I was working out that you make the equivalent of like Nanaman a month or Hachiman a month base.
That was what his name
Don't quote me
translated.
on that. But
That's what his name translated to.
Wow.
His name translated to Mr. Consideration. because he always is, we'll consider it. We'll consider it.
Oh no, that was it. What's the name of that movie? Confidential Man. Just
Yeah.
Consideration Man or something. Yeah, but like he caused outrage. Like I saw like a clip, and like all the old guard, you know, in the House of Representatives, just took one look at him and just went, "The fuck are you on about?" You know what I mean? Because how are they going to implement it? Like, how is that going to get through? That's the thing. I'm no expert, but
I have no fucking idea.
you know, riddle me this, Consideration Man. It's kind of weird, isn't it? But so the lowest is Yonman. Everyone gets Yonman.
Something like that, yeah.
Everyone, even the highest earners.
I guess so.
Or is there like a bracket where like
It's under,
Minato-ku
it's under
people just get, like-
consideration.
yeah, right, of course. Because is this going to be like Abe 2.0 where people were given this money but then just saving it?
Something
I mean?
like
And
yeah,
not
like I have
actually-
no fucking idea.
Or paying their bills with it, which doesn't actually go back into the economy per se, but into local economies, right? So, like for me, that Jew man that I got from Abe, I spent it on my resi tax for the year. I never bought a TV or like what Dan did. He bought like golf clubs or whatever that went back into the system. It just shorted the economy for a little bit, right? From what I remember. And the masks.
So, hang on, they changed his name. His name originally on Twitter, everyone was calling him Mr. Consideration. So now they're calling him Zoze Megane, which literally translates to tax increase glasses. And then recently, when he went back on it, people started calling him Zoze Kuso Megane. Which I think is really fucking funny.
Is there anything else that just... Well, I mean, his approval rating's like in the 20s.
It's
now,
like
right?
20%. Like nobody fucking.
I
likes
don't think
this guy.
any
He's
prime
such a
minister
useless
since
twat.
like Koizumi or when Riken got the gig during like just before the tsunami.
Yeah.
With Hatayama and like Khan, they got like better approval ratings. But like every other PM's like Suga got like 30 when he was booted out.
They've just been fucking useless.
Yeah,
But,
you
like
know.
the problem is the way that it works, right? Like, so long as the LDP gets voted in, they just pick who they want to be prime minister, and for whatever reason, they've picked fucking Mr. Megane over there. Yeah, Kuso Megane over there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Just like, what the fuck?
They'll figure it out. And well, you know, if it's an extra like Yon man.
I mean, hey,
what's
I'll
that,
take
4 quid?
Yomang. Don't
Is
get
that
me wrong.
40
I'll take
pounds? No.
Yomang. Yeah.
I'll take an extra 40 quid.
The
so I
way
can-
it is now. Well, yeah, because like what's
Oh, I think it's like 150
like
against
150.
the US dollar, but the pound is like 180, right?
100 yen is 67 cents. 67 American dollars or 67 American cents. It's 150. $1 is 150.08.
I feel sorry for 50 Cent now when he goes abroad. He has to keep changing his fucking name.
It's a fucking $1.50 now.
I'm $1.50, yeah. So, but it's a good time to visit Japan, you know, if you're a tourist, because
Right.
one of
Everything's
my
cheap as fuck.
one of my best friends from back home, Joe, he's coming next Thursday night with his missus, and can't wait to see them. They're great. You'll meet them at the karaoke.
Oh,
with
they're
you
coming.
for
Okay.
Jordan. The party and that, and they're like, "Oh wow, the yen is so cheap," and I'm like, it's good for you, but not for me."
No.
So if I go in the opposite direction to the UK, it
You
costs me
lose
double.
so
almost.
much fucking money.
I think it's like 182. Or
That's
whatever.
why I want to go look for a remote job that pays me in USD because then I'll be balling.
Same here. I've been applying, but it's just wishful thinking because
Even
everybody's
like,
going. For
I'm
that at the
thinking
same
like
time.
even to me, I'm thinking like, man, even if it's a part-time job, I'm still basically doubling my pay.
Yeah, exactly.
So like I could work a job that pays me like
Yeah.
3 days a week. I get like 150,000 or like $1,500 a month or something. Convert that over, and it's like 30,000.
You're
Get,
gaining
like,
money basically.
Sanjuman or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I go to the US, like recently I came back from Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Like I made sure that I brought some money back with me because you know I'm exchanging it back into yen. You know I'd already took a loss on it anyway, but you know the moment that you exchange it, it's like, oh my god, you know you can see the difference,
Right.
And, you know,
But that's the thing. Like prices here haven't changed at all.
they've gone up.
They've gone up a little bit, but like
Yeah.
I'm talking about going to a restaurant or going
Yeah.
like just out in general. Like that hasn't changed
Kind of
that
base,
much.
but
It's-
like if you go and buy like groceries,
yeah, that's changed.
the tax has got like the cost of living's got higher, and I'm not usually a person like that. Like, you know, oh look at this banana, it's like 20 pence more. Like my mum always calls me
Right.
and goes, "Fucking English economy, bollocks, stop!" And I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "Apples, they're a pound when you were a pound, fucking pound. Guess how much they are now?" And I'm just like, I don't know. She's like, $2.50 for 4 apples. I'm like, yeah, you know, because there's wars going on, and
right.
you know, they have to go in a shipping container and everything. She doesn't know this.
Mm.
She's like, "But don't we grow our own things?" I'm
But
like,
but they appear at the
Yeah.
grocery store.
yeah. I'm like, the only thing England's good at doing is cider
And theft.
and theft and acid attacks. You know, but the moment that
Not
she,
necessarily in that order.
Maybe. I mean, they mix it up sometimes. You know what I mean? Like shower, shit, shave, like
Yeah.
that order. But whenever my mom talks to me about that kind of stuff, and now I'm an adult, and now I do grocery shops and I cook and everything, and I have a family, I've noticed that, and I'm like, shit, that's a bit more expensive than last week. Why are these bananas this price? Like I buy this smoothie. It's like a fuck, I forget the brand, but it's like fruit smoothie. It's kind of thick.
It's coming like the paper pack type.
Kind of, yeah, like an Echo Pack, and it's
Yeah.
got like a
Screw
green.
top.
It's
Yeah,
screw
okay,
top.
I know which ones you're talking about.
So I remember that being like 300 yen, and now it's like five.
5.
And I'm just like, whoa, that's like $2 more, essentially.
It's better to just buy a fucking blender at that point, right?
I say $2 more. I'm still living in the dream world where it's like pretty much the same. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a shambles. And he said something about the sales tax not changing. You know what I mean? It'd be better off doing that than giving everybody money back.
Yo, okay, so like here's
You know what I mean? Like reduce the fucking VAT on shit,
Right.
and then
before
suck my
before
language.
we skip to, because we're coming up on the middle section here. I'll just say this: why the fuck is he not taxing foreigners coming in? Tourism is back to pre-COVID.
It's like
things.
97%, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
and
why
they can get tax free. Why?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
tax the fuck out of them.
Why tax
They
the
will come
citizens
anyway.
that are already being like put under pressure by low
Right.
wages,
Yeah,
high income tax, all this. But that's conservative politicians for you. They don't live in the real world, Dave.
no, they don't.
They're
It's
just
like,
pricks.
but like that's the thing. Like, oh, I'll give you guys off your money. That'll solve the problem. It's like no one fucking does.
This is another thing, right?
fucking
And this is
dummy.
kind of like a subject close to my heart because I've had a few friends that have had kids here, right? Especially in Yokohama, childcare is one, very hard to obtain. It's like they don't want you to have it, and two, it's so expensive, and they require a million forms from you, right?
Right.
I think Tokyo's a little better.
There's somewhere in like Kansai where like all that shit is free,
Yeah.
and like they I forget where it is specifically, but it was kind of pushed ahead by the mayor or like the prefectural government or whatever, and like at the end of 3 years, their population is the like only positive population in all of Japan, and that's because all the childcare shit is covered.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, well, yeah, no fucking shit, of course, because
Yeah.
anywhere else it's a fucking nightmare.
Well, I don't want to say this, but like if I were a woman that would potentially want to have a family, if I put myself in that person's shoes, I wouldn't do it because
no, fuck no. It's just asking to be in debt.
forget all of the kind of societal pressure that they already have, right? Being a woman here, and the pressure to kind of have kids, it's not economically possible for a lot of people, right? If the childcare was free, if there were spaces, and if the bureaucracy and the red tape was easier to navigate and kind of cut through, people would be having kids. It's as simple as that. But it's as if the government just doesn't want them to have kids, but then they're going, we have a birth problem. They need to sort this shit out now. Otherwise, Japan's going to have like a lost generation. And that is in
we already
no
have
way,
a lost generation.
that is no way the fault of women or people in a relationship that plan to have kids. Because you'll probably see in the next few years when the population does take a nosedive, conservatives and right-wingers blaming women for this problem. It's their problem, right? And I mean this right down to the fucking core, right? They do not have a fucking clue how to manage money or want to actually put money
they don't care.
in a way that can benefit people. And at the end of the day, if they just learn how to do this, they can kill 5 fucking birds with 1 brick, right?
Right.
Essentially.
Well, it's wild too when you look at politicians and
Pisses
look
me
at
off.
how much they get paid. They're like one of the highest paid professions in Japan.
Yeah, and now they're asking for a pay rise of 6%.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Riddle me this.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I honestly just, I could rant for hours and I'm not going to. We have the same issue in the UK. Like, people just sit there, scratch their asses, do coke in the bathroom of Parliament and ask for a 20% bump and then claim 4 houses on expenses, everything on expenses, and they don't get investigated. Right. Yet if you miss your tax bill by a month, you go to court. So at the end of the day, I think it was one thing I saw on Instagram where it was like, What is scummy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich? And some guy just put tax evasion.
It's true.
Yeah.
You're not
Need
wrong.
I say more? Need I say more?
All right. With
Yeah.
that being said, let's drop to the middle ad read here for our sister podcast on the network. It's very short. We'll be back in like 15 seconds.
Nice. Yeah.
Spaceships,
Magic swords,
intergalactic empires,
dead gods,
and creatures from beyond the moon.
what mad universe could contain all these fantastic visions?
What Mad Universe is a bi-weekly podcast.
Delving into the misty origins of sci-fi and fantasy, pop culture and genre tropes.
Take a cosmic trip on What Mad Universe podcast. Now on the Tokyo Beat Podcast Network.
What mad universe? This looks pretty cool.
And we are back.
Nice. Yeah, that looks like a fun podcast. So these are on the same network as you,
They are, yeah.
right? Do you know any of these people, or is it just
We have had Kinsey from
Kinsey? Yeah, legend.
Yeah. Did you meet her?
Very briefly once, I think. Yeah, but we have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
She
So
follows me on socials. And
so yeah,
stuff,
we had her on. Unfortunately, that episode like audio was like kind of fucked, but
Right.
it just due to user error on my part. But there's many things to juggle in a live stream like this. So
Yeah. Looks really complicated.
but
actually.
yeah, so we've interviewed her, but like most of the other people are in America, so like they're not in the same time zone necessarily. Or personally, like for me, I think like just Tokyo Fresh in general is the vibe has to be a specific way to get people to come on.
yeah, of course. I mean, it's chill. You know,
It is, but there's like I don't know, you just know.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, I don't know how to describe it.
Who would you be comfortable having a beer with?
Right? Yes.
It's the kind of, or just
I mean, there is like I think me and Jordan have our white whale type guess, which I feel like maybe now we could pull, but we
Yeah,
just
but
haven't
yeah, I mean-
tried. But it's just those people are busy or they'll
Yeah,
blow
I
you
mean,
off or whatever.
I've met quite a few. I've been lucky to through like the events we go to, like Artedly, like through Ian and who's
Another person I want to get on here. I need
Yeah.
to get back to him. I sent him a message and he was in the UK at the time and just haven't
Yeah.
go back to him.
as a friend. Ian's great, and I have a lot to thank him for actually, because he got me out talking to people and stuff, and I've met like lots of people in that industry, but I also met a lot of creatives that are the kinds of people that when you talk to them, for me, you read the room, right? If I see, like, for example, one of Chris Broad's like crew at one of these events.
Sure, yeah.
Like, I recently met Connor at one of the events, and
I talked to him too.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, really sound dude, and I didn't go up to him and go, "Hey man, what the fuck?" I just went, "Hey man," and we were on about music and just what he was into, and those are the kind of conversations I like to have with these people, and I just can't stand it when people are like, "Can I have a photo? Can I have a photo?" And people like encroaching on like I could be 1 inch away from like potentially being acquaintances with this guy and whatever, right?
Right.
Because I treat people all the same. I want to make
Yeah,
friends, but yeah,
Yeah,
like,
there's like
they're amazing people.
it's
actually,
really
some of them.
I don't know. I think I've talked about this like plenty, but
Yeah,
like I'm not.
I've
I'm
listened
not,
to it plenty.
I'm not necessarily a clout.
Yeah, because
Clout
they're
chaser,
just
but
people that are just
yeah.
doing. I respect the grind. That's the thing. I don't watch, similar to you and Jordan and our friends, I don't watch Japan content now I'm in Japan. I watch Jordan's content because he's our boy, right? And I want to support his algorithm. So I genuinely just don't push like and then close off it. I watch his video, because it matters for his numbers and his viewership. And
Nah, I just skipped through.
yeah. And you know what I
I
mean?
shit
But
to
like, yeah. But like, I love Jordan's, like, I'm going to wax lyrical about him actually because he's not here and he'll love this. He should be listening. But Uncle mention, what does that mean?
Not sure.
Hi. But I want our boy to start doing long form videos again.
I mean, could. It's
I fucking love it when he does it. I love his short form stuff, but like when he was doing stuff in like his house and he was pushing out that content, it's the kind of video that I haven't seen in a long ass time, and I crack open a beer and watch it. Not because he's one of my best friends, but like I really, really enjoyed.
It's fucking hard. Like
it's hard to be consistent.
Though.
That's the thing.
It's not that it's hard to be consistent, but those kind of videos take fucking
Forever.
time.
Yeah,
they take because like I'm working on a video myself that I just kind of want to post to see what happens, and like doing the research for this video is like weeks. I think I'm like 2 months deep in doing research, and I'm still not even fucking close to done.
Yeah.
Like not even anywhere close.
Plus Jordan's like editing is like meticulous as well. Like he does it his way. So that's the second part. You have to edit it. You'll get sick of it. You know, you'll put in a sound bite and you'll go, I hate that now. I want to throw it away, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've been doing editing for stuff recently, and like I did a music video, and the first time I heard the song, I was like, this is a banger.
And then you hear the same 15-second clip because you're just like going back and forth in the timeline.
And you're just like,
nah, fuck that.
Zombified. And I was having cold sweats waking up in the middle of the night, just going, where's the fucking chocolate? You know what this is about.
Yeah.
What's this video? I heard you talk about it. Like we had a gathering at mine, and I remember you on about something. But
yeah, so
I didn't want to.
I want to do a video about like the history of in games, the mechanic of like raising and using monsters, like Pokemon.
Okay, yeah.
But like where did that start?
That's interesting.
And then like how has it evolved over time?
I mean, there's so many different variations of that now.
Right.
So but I like those kind of videos, like real life lore about something, you know.
So I've basically, you know, in the intro to the video, I basically said like, okay, what is my criteria for like saying this is part of that genre? It has to be A, B, and C.
You have to kind of treat it like a thesis or something.
Kind of,
like
yes.
Because a lot of these videos on YouTube, like I watched ones about Japanese music that are made by American like YouTubers, right? And they never show their face. It's all voiceover stuff. And it's like their recommendations about the best Japanese indie rock bands ever. And of course, it's completely objective.
Right.
But what makes me want to watch those videos is the research and how that ends up being a satisfying conclusion to whatever argument that you want to
And that's the thing. Like,
state, right?
I have to wonder about some of those too. Like, how do you do research for something like that when a lot of the documentation's probably not in a language you can read?
Yeah. That's
in
the
my
point.
case,
you can do
read
it,
and I can do it, and it will take a longer time to find stuff because I have to like search and parse and, you know, find out what's what. But like there was, specifically speaking about it, I found it was like a university talk about games. Specifically, they had the creators of the Shin Megami Tensei series, the first ones
before it. They did Persona,
like
as well.
the Famicom games, and they're talking about those, like how they ended up like creating it and like how they
designed a giant dick monster inside a.
I mean, well, that was
trap.
They just said like, oh, we'll hire Johnny Tanaka. He's real good at drawing dicks.
Yeah.
Whatever. But
was it that scene in Superbad where he drops his snap box and it's got all the pictures of
pictures of dicks in
yeah.
it? Yeah. I mean, there's only one. There's only
Shin
one
Megami Tensei and
There's
the lunchbox.
only one dick monster, and it rides a chariot. Okay, like
chariot. Yeah. Why did I think it was in a bear trap?
No, it's riding a chariot. It's real weird. I forget what it's called, but yeah.
Oh, dick chariot.
But yeah,
I'm gonna start calling that.
So it's interesting, like being able to kind of pull reviews from them. I think it's funny because like they're specifically talking about it. They're like, oh yeah, we spent all this time on like all the systems, how to raise the monster, like fighting and all the combat systems, and then they're like, oh fuck, we have to make the rest of the game. So like, so the first game they're like, we just like made a fucking huge maze and hoped that was okay. And like he's like, after all we did all this work on all these systems, all we were kind of left with was really cool systems and a giant complex fucking maze that we made like super quickly because we're like, we need to have some place to do the thing with the systems.
That's pretty interesting, actually. So that was like a complete, not afterthought, but like a necessary thing that they had to do. But
Right, because they had like a release date, right? So like we just ran out of time, so we're like, fuck it, fill it with whatever and see what happens. And then it turns out that people are like, I love mazes.
Yeah.
And it just kind of went from there.
Similar story, not related to like the battle thing, but like Rareware that did Donkey Kong 64 and everything. They did GoldenEye, right? Which is considered a pioneer of FPS. The multiplayer was a completely last-minute addition.
Right, and that's the best thing about the game.
Everything. Yeah, legit. So it was like, we didn't want the multiplayer, but like we got requested and they shat it out in about 2 weeks. And then that ended up being like the most influential shooting game ever, practically. You know, now you got Call of Duty, but that owes itself to GoldenEye 007, you know. Great Bond movie as well. Probably my favorite. Because it's got Sean fucking Bean in it.
Fucking Sean Bean.
He's a bit classy in GoldenEye, though. He speaks with a British accent. Like
Yes, he does, yeah.
But I would have loved him to have just gone, James, sorry I betrayed you back on the snowy mountain up there near the north. Sorry I got the Russian guy to shoot me in the face.
I haven't seen GoldenEye in forever.
GoldenEye's great. I think that was my first Bond. And then I watched all the shit ones after that, like the Roger Moores. Most of them are just
they're
not that great. They're
great.
just so techno-pop, aren't they? They're just so goofy. Like, Dalton's the best, though. He's my favorite.
He had like one movie.
2 movies.
Okay.
And they're both good. One is literally, I was having this conversation with Dan. One is literally about the fall of the Iron Curtain and the Mujahideen. You know, and at the end it goes, "We thank our friends."
The
Mujahideen. It's just like spicy, you know. But yeah, James Bond, amazing. I recently just lent Jordan the box set because he's watching it at home at the minute. So yeah, the whole Blu-ray box set. So the other day I came home from work and I was like, you know what? I fancy a Bond movie, and then I realised they're not there anymore. It's just an empty box. I was like, oh shit. Fucking hell. Anyways,
speaking of YouTube, though, let's pivot into what we were gonna talk about.
Can I just say this has really pissed me off?
Oh yeah,
I think it's pissed everybody off, and we caught the original kind of chemtrail of this before.
The tail end of it.
Yeah, the tail end, not the chemtrail. But before it blew up on like the BBC and.
Other places,
every news source that you can find on the internet is running a story on this absolute pleb.
He's such a.
Where do we start?
He's
with
such
this?
a fucking plug. Okay, like I don't really know the guy, so I knew of him. What the fuck is his name? Starts with an F.
Fidias.
So I knew.
Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah. Where's your platypus, bitch?
Was that Bowling for Soup? Did they do the theme tune?
I have no idea.
To that,
but yeah, I knew of him because I remembered seeing his face because someone had mentioned. I think it was like maybe like Moist Critical or someone had like mentioned him stealing, just like outright stealing all of fucking Mr. Beast's ideas and like doing the fucking the budget price version of all his videos.
Call me kind of out of the loop.
Uh-huh.
Can you explain who Mr. Beast is? Is he the biggest YouTuber ever? Now. PewDiePie's dropped off because
as a singular person, yes. I don't think as a channel he's the biggest because there's like some Indian fucking conglomerate that posts like Bollywood music or something.
So you're telling me like these YouTubers are basically like they've got enough money to fuck around with, so they're like, oh, how many fruit pastels does it take to kill like a kestrel? Like they do those kind of videos,
yeah, something like that. Like he Mr. Beast is like he does fucking wild shit, but like Mr. Beast does a lot of like charitable work. So like his videos are like yes, exactly. Like his videos are like I bought 8 people who don't have a car for free and I just gave it to them.
Good lad.
I bought this person
Keanu
a house.
Reevesy of him,
right? like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But then he does stuff like, oh, let's crush a fucking Ferrari with a fucking like a pressure, like a giant. What is it like? What are they called? Like a piston or something. I forget what the fuck it is.
So hang on, he's buying people houses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just sounds like China's Belt and Road Initiative.
Yeah,
It's like debt
I
diplomacy.
don't
Just
know.
like later on when like his channel tanks, he's like, so hey, can I have that house back?
Right. Well,
Well, you
he's
can't pay.
mentioned before. He's like, I'm always typically running in the red because, like, if I put out a video and it'll just make enough money to fund the next video. So like he's kind of like, it's weird. He's like living paycheck to paycheck. If your paycheck was $25 million, but then you had to spend $25 million to get your next paycheck.
Sounds like Donald Trump.
Kind of, yeah. But
Sounds like Elon Musk.
he's doing like, you know, charitable work, but like people
Fair
fucking
play
hate
to
him
him.
for some reason. Like, oh, he's like, he obviously lives in America, so like you know, medical care is expensive.
Lacking.
So he's like, oh, I'll just buy people, I'll like get them eye surgery for people who have like cataracts or something.
Do you know what? Like, I appreciate.
And he's like, cool, it's free.
But this is the thing. Like, one of my favorite people in the world says, Carl Pilkington. Like, it's never enough, is it? Charity. You know what I mean? Like, he could literally try and solve world hunger, and somebody will be calling for his head because he's not put the money into something that they think is necessary or something.
You're
like that.
exploiting poor people to defeat.
There's also
like,
that
It's
angle.
like,
there's also that
I understand where there could be some criticism where it's like, oh, you're using these poor people in a video to make money off them, and it's like, yes, but the video.
What the fuck are you doing?
Well, it's not even
At
that.
the
It's
same
like,
time.
at the end of the day, the person has got something that's been possibly life-changing for free.
Yeah, exactly. You've changed somebody's life.
Right? Whether you're using them or not is kind of like, I'm sure if they're in the video, I'm sure they've signed a fucking consent form that says, yay, I'm cool to be in this video.
And like that person can now continue living their life and through his own generosity. But because he's so famous, of course, there's going to be like I'd say a minority of people, but it is a majority because he's probably got billions of views. I don't know, right?
Oh,
But
dude, like he has like I'm on YouTube right now. I can just look up Mr. Beast. He has a lot of fucking subscribers, like a lot.
So, of course, there's going to be people that are going to be like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
He
just for
has
existing, right? Because people troll.
204 million subs. 204
It's the
million.
that's more than the population of here, right? It's 140.
I think something like that. Yeah, it's like, and then he has like an entire country's worth of people subscribe to his channel.
You know
Like,
what?
it's
Fair
fucking
play to him. I appreciate
nuts.
the grind. You know what I mean? Like, as long as he's not a prick, like who we're gonna mention,
Right.
you know, more love to him, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know these people. They're probably their own person, but like, I've got nothing but admiration for people that do good. You know what I mean? Even if there's you don't know if they have an ulterior motive or whatever, but like if they're helping people see again, you know what I mean? It's great. You know, I think much respect to them. You know what I mean? May it continue.
Yeah.
You know, until he gets caught with his pants down somewhere and like.
I mean, like, Fidias is
Coney 2012. You know.
the same thing, right? Like, I survived 10 days buried alive. Mr. Beast did that like 5 months before that.
He's not really an original.
No, like
thinker.
so much of his shit is not original, but like
So he had to resort to actual crimes.
kind of, yeah.
Kind of, mate. This is like black and white. This is insanely like dangerous. I mean, we don't fuck about with this shit in Japan.
I
right?
mean, again, like he has videos of him doing like other shit like this. Like
I haven't checked his channel because I don't want it anywhere near my algorithm, which is already full of Marco Pierre White cooking tutorials, retro gaming, trivia, and the odd David Bowie song.
right.
I don't want his fucking stupid face in the middle of that.
So let's talk about what he actually did, right? So
Yeah.
I guess Fidias comes to Japan, and
I keep thinking Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and
mate.
Ferb, yeah.
His mate looked
Triangle
like Ferb.
nose, motherfucker.
The lad from Nottingham looked like Ferb.
But yeah, so he
Represent.
comes with like his crew of degenerate morons.
There's
and
4 of them, right? 3
yeah,
of them?
something like that.
I didn't
don't
really
know.
watch
I
it.
think there's
but-
4 of them. But regardless, like he's the main offender. They're on his channel. It's not like they're sucking his proverbial content dick.
Yep. Which is small, I can tell.
So anyway, they're in Kyushu, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go across Japan, but we're not gonna pay any money."
Is it
right?
Nagasaki, right? They
started
there.
somewhere in Kyushu, Nagasaki, or
Beautiful city.
Kagoshima,
Check it out. It's one of the best
or
places.
whatever.
Yeah.
And he's doing shit that is like, it's blatantly illegal, like blatantly. It's not like, oh, I did a cultural faux pas, whoopsie, moshiwaki gozaimasen, sorry, right? Like, it's not like that. It's like, no, I got onto the Shinkansen for free by hiding in the toilet, and then when the, like, train master comes around and says, where's your fucking ticket? And you go, I'm sick. Oh, I don't have, or I put on a hoodie and try and, like, hide and run, right? Like, he's literally avoiding paying for it on purpose. Like, it's literally a crime. It's theft.
And he admitted it. He was like, he put me down. When he put me down on the floor and let go of me, I legged it, and now they're still after me. And I'm just like,
yeah, because you ran from.
Like, that's another crime.
Yes, 100%.
You're resisting arrest.
So the fact that he's like managed to get out of Japan is fucking wild.
I think they shot this weeks ago, like
maybe
3 weeks ago or something like that. Because
yeah. No. You mean like they shot it and then put it
they've
up once
already
they've
already left.
Yeah,
like, they literally took a massive shit and just left it in the middle of the road for people to clean up.
Yep.
But the benefit to this is now that it's gained traction, as we'll mention, they're not getting back into this country.
Oh, definitely not. Like
they are on the database now, like all of them. I think the Indian woman that was, correct me if I'm wrong if she's from there, but like she was begging for money and stuff like that. But she posted, because I found them on Instagram just out of interest.
Yeah.
She posted on Instagram before she deleted her entire account that she actually paid for everything. She showed the tickets. So now you're lying. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the content was just bullshit anyway from her angle.
Right. So it's like.
So she goes, she basically put in English, like, I didn't deserve the slander I'm getting because here's the receipts. And she literally had receipts. Fair enough. But you were part of a project that is now,
right.
It's gone, but it's left a sour taste in everybody's mouth. You were part of that group. So I think she's just tried to distance herself as far as possible.
But like,
from it, which is
here's
fair,
the fucking thing, right? Like, I don't understand the concept behind that video, right? Because the video is shit. It's fucking garbage, right? It's a bunch of idiots running away from getting picked up by the fucking cops because they didn't pay.
Dude sat in a closet or somewhere with headphones on going, all right, the next challenge is you have to do this.
Right, yeah.
Like some kind of, you remember Nightmare where they had to put on the helmet and like
go through the fucking maze with the big
step forward.
Into the thing.
Just reminded me of that.
Don't fall into the giant pits.
Yeah. Then they just dissolve into like 80s pixels. Just MS painted out. Yeah. But the fact that he was like the ringleader, right? Mm-hmm. Basically Luffy, just in some like unmarked location in the middle of the Mojave Desert, giving them instructions via radio, right?
But it's like, okay, if there's like a couple of angles to this, right?
Okay.
Like,
shoot.
Okay, let's look at it from like her perspective, right? If she paid for everything and she was still in the video, by her own admission, that video is fucking fake.
That's what I mean.
So if the video is fucking fake, I shouldn't give a shit because already the premise is fucked up. Like, if I'm coming to that video to see the video be, hey, I got across Japan for free, and I'm like, oh, how the fuck did you do that? But you actually paid for everything?
You're right.
Then it's completely fucking pointless, right?
Nothing is free here. Like 2 + 2.
I'm just saying the concept of the video is already misleading.
Yeah.
Right? And then
the title alone,
I assume, given that that's the case, like, let's just take her at face value. She paid for everything, right? Let's just assume all of them paid for everything. And
that was like her
literal
get out of jail free card.
Right. Let's just assume all those dickheads paid for everything, right? That content is fucking garbage now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's non-existent.
I mean, at least if you didn't pay for everything and you got away with it and you actually got around, then fine. What you've said is true. Yeah. But if you're doing the literal YouTube title version of it was just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, bro.
Then I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
On the one hand. Now, on the flip side, if you didn't pay for everything Now there's a different story because now it's just you're doing illegal shit, you're filming a crime, and you're posting it on YouTube. And I think that has bigger implications, in my opinion.
I mean, people are already influenced by this stupid generation enough with TikTok. Like, if there's some challenge where it's like, oh, the baked bean challenge, you know, you got to eat 10 tins of baked beans, and they'll fucking do it because people are just brainwashed, right? So if somebody sees that, you've got a trip to Japan in 3 months, you want to save a bit of money, and then you see that video on your algorithm.
Right.
And then you don't have like any sense of danger or anything like that, right?
Right.
You're going to think, wow, this is great. But what he showed in the video, this is why when I checked the comments, the only positive ones were like 13-year-old like trolls that love him, right? They're like, this is great, Keck, you know? And everyone else, I even commented before it went, because I never comment on YouTube videos. I just went, oh, wow, well done. Thank you for making it hard for a tax-paying, law-obedient citizen like myself and many others like myself. Like, fucking, you know, you all get what you deserve. And that got like 200 likes before it canned. So a lot of people in that kind of comment space, it was like a community of very, very angry people. 99% of the comments were that, right? So at the end of the day, you can see how influential this video could have been.
Right.
To the wrong viewer. You know what I mean?
Sure. I mean, he has 2.5 million subs, right? That's not a small amount of people.
How? I mean, he's not even that entertaining. He's literally like... You remember Remy Galliard or something? He was like a French kind of prank. The early days of YouTube and like E-Bombs world. He like dressed up as a snail and like held up traffic because he'd be crawling along the road. And he like dressed up as Pac-Man and went into like a shopping center and just destroyed it, and other people were playing as like Pac-Man ghosts or whatever. Like, he was the original YouTube kind of prankster, right? And he's just a poor man's version of that,
right? And
he's done crime at the same time,
right?
Blatantly. Like, the Japanese police have seen this video now and gone, yep, check. Has he done this? Check. He's probably guilty of like 10 different things minimum, right? You know, like, the fact, the one thing that pissed me off the most was not the fact that he was like stealing, essentially.
I mean, it is theft. Whether you agree with how much the Shinkansen costs is like irrelevant. It's
but
still
you go to war, you go to work, or you bring your money and you pay it like everybody else, man. Like, you know what I mean? I just found it really insulting, mate. But the one thing that pissed me off was people begging, people for money and recording them without censoring their faces, because here, you know, like, he's in the back of the car with some kids and he's going, look at where I am, because he's hitchhiking. There's like 2 babies next to him. I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Well, that's like highly fucking illegal.
That's highly illegal.
Here. So,
you know what I mean?
Maybe people don't know. Japan has
Remy, yeah, there it is.
Japan has like very fucking strict privacy laws to where, like, okay, if you're watching the news and someone like commits a crime at like a place, they'll show the reporter outside the place, and everything but the reporter is mosaiced out. Yeah. Which is like, at that point, well, I don't know why you're sending the fucking person to the crime scene. It's very weird if I can't see it, but it's a privacy thing. Like, legally, you cannot show that when it's like involved in a criminal investigation, or like you don't have the permission from people to show their face. It is illegal. I forget like what the specific stipulation is, but it is illegal.
Like, the kids were so young, and he's just in the back seat with them. I mean, why would you let that fucking clown in your car?
Right.
More fool you as parents, seriously, like, because he's not exactly like the most keyed in individual, right? And second, the British lad, I think is from Nottingham, because I picked up the accent. I might be wrong, right? But oh my god, this kid, I just want to drop kick this kid in the fucking head. I hate to be violent like that, but like, he goes up to like a group of Japanese girls and he's like, 2,000 yen, please give me 2,000 yen or something. And they just give him money, and then he walks away with it.
Because they're like, I don't want to deal with this fucking foreigner, get them out of my face.
But here's the thing. I think that is fake as shit. Do you know why?
What is that?
What's on your microphone busting?
Oh, here.
They handed him perfectly crisp 2,000 yen notes. There they are, right? The only way you can get one of them,
Get them from the bank.
you get them
foreign
from the bank, a foreign bank, right? So I think he went up to these girls and went, hey, if I give you 6,000 yen in bills, could you hand them back to me and I make it seem like you've given me them?
There is no fucking way if they are like teenage, like, 17, 18, 19. Like,
I haven't seen one of them in 5 years since my mate came.
you can literally not get these unless they are requested from a foreign bank.
You
Like,
find these on the walls of like ramen restaurants where tourists have bought it in, and
Yeah.
they're like, shit. That's
and
so
that's
out
why
of
that's why I
circulation.
haven't spent it.
Still
'Cause
legal
it's
tender.
weird and it's here, right?
Yeah, but they handed that back to him, I noticed, and I was like, that's bullshit. So
Right,
I
yeah,
think
yeah, he definitely gave them money. And
as
they
much as
handed it
he
back.
and his video in the train toilet was 5 seconds long and he never got stopped. So I think he just went in there, curled one out, videoed himself curling one out, and going, oh god, I'm dead stressed because they're looking for me. No, he just went for a shit. He had a reserve train ticket. I don't think he personally or the girl did any crimes. The
Right.
crimes were just being fucking tools and getting involved in this stupid
Right.
fucking project. Sorry for my language, but that's how I feel about
So,
it.
but like now the
But
question
him,
is,
he's done it.
right now the question
This is
is
proof.
right is like, okay, there's so many things so many angles I want to
Oh,
attack
God,
this
I
from.
just-
The first angle I want to attack this from is, I say it every fucking time: if you're gonna commit a crime, don't fucking record it. And if you're gonna record it, don't fucking show people. I don't know why you would record yourself doing a crime. It is the biggest self-owned self-snitch you could possibly fucking do.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that you can irrefute that evidence now. Like if you get arrested in Japan, they'll take your fucking phone and they'll crack it, or they'll like take it to like whatever and like
He
get it
said
open.
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll take it and they'll go through everything on your fucking phone. Everything. So like
You
now
literally leave
you just
in-
have your dickhead fucking recording of yourself being a fucking nonce of doing a crime, and they go, "Oh, well, that's illegal."
Well, the first crime was he was on a bus
Mm-hmm.
and he was short 80 yen.
Okay.
And here's the thing: if you get on a bus, if your Pasmo isn't charged or whatever, your IC card, you
It
take
beeps.
cash.
Yeah.
And even if you've got a 5,000 yen note, you put it in a little coin changer and you get like all this shrapnel, right? There's ways to get around it. If you go on a bus with no money, I think there's another way around where you can get like a ticket, but you have to pay it within a certain time. You have to like go to the bus center.
Right. Yeah.
You
It's like
can
it's
do
like
it with-
it's a deferred ticket or
yeah,
whatever, right?
you can do that with trains.
Yeah.
But there's a cutoff point and then they'll bill you or something. I think you have to put some kind of information down.
Yeah. Right.
You get like a paper bill or something,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But there's ways around it. But he just went, "Soz, I don't have anything." And the guy was like, he didn't like his response or attitude because he thinks, "Oh, look at this joker," right? He doesn't exactly look in any way professional. The guy's keyed in. He was like, "Look, I've heard about these like nuisance YouTubers. He probably knows his shit." So he locked him on the bus. And then he was like, "Pay up. If not, then you go into the police station." So what does he do?
Took
Goes
him to the police station.
and he's recording the whole time. It's just Johnny Somaliing like the hell out of it. And that's what annoys me. He's like, everybody look at me getting like patted down by this cop. Everybody look at me getting arrested. It's like, where's the benefit to seeing this? I find it shameful.
Right.
Like, do you have any self-respect?
No. The answer
The
is
fact
no.
that the most
The answer is
embarrassing
no.
and the most embarrassing and scary thing that could happen to you as a person is the cops literally going, you go into the station, right? And he's literally got a camera going, "I'm okay with this." Like, I don't get how you can get to that point and consider yourself to
Where
be
you just have like
a
grade A
respectful
tier
like,
fucking brain rot.
but you've come here of all places. I love some of the comments. It's like, bro, you should have known better. Like, you know what I mean? Because thank
not-
God
it's-
they're not here because they'd be in a cell. All of them would be in jail. They have dodged a bullet.
Well, they would be spending at least the minimum 23 days while they
Yeah,
figure out if they've
with
committed a crime
Johnny
or not.
Somali, you know what I mean? And it's the one thing that pisses me off the most, Dave, is the fact that you know what it's like to live here, right? Like I love living here. I've got a great life. However, to the average person who looks at you in the street, they tar you with the same brush. They've had a bad experience in the past with foreigners, and they're not really intellectually mature enough to recognize that not all people are the same, right? It's the same in the UK. It's the same anywhere, right? If people live in a village and then somebody comes in of a different ethnicity, they'll look at them and go, oh, God, you know, I had a bad experience with one of you before or something. It's like,
Yeah.
those kind of people. There's plenty of them here, especially old people, right? So our job daily is to just abide by the law, don't be a dick, help people when you can, have conversations with people when the air is right. Like on the way here, you know the bridge near the station where the buses are struggling to fit through it, and there's like So I was behind a woman on a bicycle, and she stopped me. She goes, "Oh, there's a bus coming," and I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And I went, "Oh, it's really like," I just went, "Oh, soy this now, like it's really, really thin." And she was like, "This you now," you know, and we were striking up a conversation, and it was really cordial. And I just went, "Okay, let's get to there." And she was like, "Oh, arigatou gozaimasu, you too," you know. I love those kind of interactions. You know, you have them with old people and that. And that person will probably go home and go, you know what? I had this really amazing, brief interaction with a really dashing foreigner, and that changes your perspective, you know. And you might want to go out, have more confidence to talk to more foreign people because we're normal, you know. But then these idiots come from overseas now, and they're generating so many clicks and just airtime that it just fucks up all the hard work that we put into our everyday. Because even if it's in a community that's completely, you know, hundreds of miles away, it still has like a domino effect. That's what annoys me the most. You know, even if I don't look like this guy, or, you know, Johnny's Somali and I'm not from the same country, you're all foreigners at the end of the day.
It's for me, the thing that is the most annoying is that not necessarily that I think Japanese people 1000% are smart enough to determine who's a stupid asshole and who's not, right? Like that's just like you can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the thing is though that like for me, anytime that I go out now with like a camera or I want to film something or take a picture, right?
Yeah, we run about this.
There's so much more like scrutiny or side eye, like, oh, what's this fucking idiot gonna do? Like if I walk, I think like now, right? If I'm just like wearing that fucking camera like on my, you know, or like I had like a GoPro where I was, you know, walking around, right? I don't do this a lot, but I do it occasionally.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I go into like an establishment or something, I will get like the biggest fucking side eye now because everyone's like, oh, I'm just waiting for it to happen. Like, what the fuck are they doing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you just get punched in the back of the face. Because
right.
At this rate, that's how it's going to end up. You know what I mean? Where you have people like vigilantes, basically. I think Chris Broad was on about this, actually. I'm not sure. Where people are literally, they're like sharks now, seeking out streamers and assaulting them. You know, like Johnny Somali got bapped like 3 times.
Good.
The best one was where he fell and you heard the Mario coin effect.
The alternate angle of that one is better.
How do you say that?
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude, yeah. Just perfect. It's just, you know. And that's the problem. It makes me sad because there's one IRL streamer that I know personally that I'd like to consider friends with now, and it's Luke. Who you have on there. I adore Luke. I think
he's great. Yeah, I love Luke.
As a person, he is the sweetest. I want to go out with him and just chat because the thing is with Luke is he's not interested in like
tourist garbage.
Well, it's not just that. He genuinely gives a shit about everybody that he meets. Genuinely. And that's what I really love about Luke. Every time I go to Artedley, he has his little stream in the corner because he bikes to the event and he streams. That man's got like calves of steel, basically.
No, Victor's frame of travel.
Yeah, Luke is Nomadic Gaijin. Check him out. He's bloody lovely. I love him. Every time I meet him, I give him a big hug. He's just amazing. But that's the thing. The difference is he goes out and he meets people and he talks to people and he has such a positive aura. And it makes me sad because like he's worked so hard to get to that position, and he's like one of the only IRL streamers that I'll literally just watch. You know, streaming's not my thing, but if it's Luke, I give a shit, right? Because I like to support him just like our boy, right? And the problem is, I fear for people like him in the future when he's not able to do the things he's good at, because a select few idiots have made it difficult for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's what breaks my heart a kind of bit. But not yet. I mean, it seems to be kind of okay. But they've already started putting up signs in places that are like, don't stream when you're in this restaurant or this shopping center or anything like this. Or don't stream on this area of the street, right? Soon it'll be shrines, temples, tourist spots. You won't be able to you won't be able to have a camera, you know. Given the current state and the amount of idiot YouTubers that keep doing this stuff, it's going to get worse for people like Luke. But at the same time, Luke's a genius, so I think that he'll find some way of making everything more sustainable in the long term. And if Luke's watching, I absolutely love you. I think you're a gentleman. I truly mean that. He's one of the most friendliest guys, and I just wish him the best.
It just sets.
He's a prime example of how to do it well.
It just sets a. But the difference is that Luke lives here, right?
Yeah.
So he understands like where the line is, but that's not his kind of content either. I think like those people who, the weird thing is like all of them are just, everyone who I've had an issue with here is always from America. No? Like,
I mean,
it's every single one. There's like that one Australian dickhead,
the train,
but I never heard from him again because he's probably irrelevant and he doesn't fucking matter.
Hang on, the Australian that went on the train?
Yeah, that guy.
Well, he was just a flash in the pan, and that was shut down instantly. Because what he did is like, you can do faux pas, but breaking that rule, and
on purpose,
so
like 100%.
I go through Kikuna every morning, right?
Yeah.
And I have to switch from an express to
a local,
right? Or, you know, like that kind of area. And at that station, they have the local train, which is 8 cars, and then the express, which is 10, right? And the 8-car train, the first 2 cars are for women only, right? And when I get off the 10th car of like the express, I always pass that because you see the signs, it's in green. You see the car door, it says like women only, right?
Yeah, in pink.
The amount of men I've seen walk in there and not walk out. Japanese men. And I'm just like, what the hell are you doing?
They have the time posted too.
Yeah, so I did a very, very like social kind of justicey thing, should I say. One morning I saw 2 guys they were ahead of me and they walked into that train. And I was behind them, and I could see every woman's eyes in that carriage just look up and go like this. And I tapped them both on the shoulder and just pointed at the floor. And then they went, "Oh shit, thanks." Like by accident, right? You do not, as a tourist, with your camera, go, "This is a women-only car, isn't it? Oh wow, look at this."
Right,
clicks.
and then like
you don't
run around like a fucking idiot. Yeah,
you don't do it, man.
You look like a fucking moron.
It's not only creepy, but like, can you imagine, like, as a woman, that's a safe space because, you know, groping, chikan is a thing, of course.
It's bad enough, yeah.
It's bad enough, right? And they have like a space where they can just literally go to work without any trouble. And then you just see this guy walk in with a camera going, "Check this out." How would you feel?
Yep.
Just, use your fucking brain. Fuck's sake. Honestly,
it doesn't
piss me off.
It doesn't help too that it's like very obvious that they're foreign too, right? Like if you are foreign here, you are a very visible minority.
Exactly, you are
like 1,000%, right? So
the only way you can get away with that is if you watch You Only Live Twice,
right?
They make James Bond Japanese,
But
you don't want
so
to
it's like very obvious.
Yeah.
Where if you're like running around with a camera, you are just like a fucking nuisance. And like it's posted in Japanese, it's posted in English, you fucking know, but you just do it anyway and you look like a dickhead.
It's in a color that is so striking.
Yeah, it's like dark pink on white.
Everyone's looking at the floor in the morning because they're zonked out, you know, they haven't had their coffee. They're either on the smartphone, but you will see that. And then when you get into the carriage, the fact that these men stay on the carriage until Yokohama or wherever they're going, right? Every morning I connect at that station and I see men just do that and then they just stay on there. They don't look around and go, Well, that's
Right.
a bit odd, isn't it? You know what I mean?
The,
Like
the thing about like the Fidias thing that like is that annoys me the most is that there is a good video idea there, but he's so morally fucked that he couldn't figure that out, right? Because all you have to do, right? Here's the thing. So his video title is I got around Japan on whatever for free, right? And then they set it up in the way that was like a game show where it's like, oh, get across Japan, you know, as cheap as possible. Just
without shitting your pants.
Just
that would have been brilliant.
Just make that
Just give them a laxative.
the thing, right? Just okay, who can get from this place to this place using the least amount of money? You start with a budget and you have to get here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have
that would be. I mean, Chris has done that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or similar things. You know, only by bike or
Sure.
he had challenges or something, right?
Right.
That's how you do
Like,
it.
imagine- okay.
morally. You know.
I think that is more interesting because it's like, okay, I need to go from like Nagasaki to somewhere. It's like, oh, clearly doing it by train is going to be way too fucking hard. But it's like, okay, now it's more interesting if like Johnny fucking whatever, he's like, oh, I have a license, so I bought a moped, so I'm going to use the moped to get from A to B. And these other fucking idiots are going to like
Yeah.
take a train or like try and hitchhike or something, right?
Look-
To me, that is a more interesting idea. It doesn't break the law.
Abide by the law.
It's
Yeah.
more creative because now you have people trying to solve a problem. There isn't a problem to be solved
Collective,
here,
you
right?
know, group.
It's them just going, how can I avoid getting caught by the police or the train station staff and be as much of a fucking nuisance as
because
possible?
Japanese people are so kind, I could probably get away with it. No, you are literally wanted in. Well, I think this guy's wanted in 3 different countries now. Probably. I think what was the other one?
yeah,
India
it's
or Sri
India,
Lanka?
Thailand, something
Like
like
he
that.
jumped the metro.
Yeah, something
So
like
this
that.
is what I asked Dan, a close friend of ours. I sent him the video, and then he goes, "Did he jump the gates?" And I was like,
Well,
"They
you had to
can't. They
have.
can't all have jumped the gates,
Right.
right? Because here's another theory. Whenever I'm on the train in the morning, especially JR, they go, "It's on a high alert." That means one branch has phoned the other branch or whatever and said, "Look out for this person. He's suspicious." Somebody left a bag with
Right.
because there's cameras everywhere, right? They're all linked because this is how they find people, right? I bet you if the other YouTubers were actually pulling this off, they wouldn't have gotten further past Okayama, right? So I think it was just him pulling the shit, and the rest of them actually had tickets, because they would have gone, right, this is a 3rd occurrence today of people not paying. It's the 3rd foreigner that's jumped a barrier. You know what I mean? So like, they would have been caught. So I think it was just him, and then he got all these people involved, and I bet they weren't comfortable with it. This is why now there's like proof that they paid for the tickets or did whatever, right? And there's been some kind of a groveling apology, which we'll get to, actually. The apology
Okay.
was hilarious. It was hilarious. I think it was something like, "Sorry I did this. Haha."
Well, no, what did he say? He's like, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry if I offended the Japanese people or something. Sorry if. What do you mean
Understatement.
sorry if?
Understatement. You pissed off half the planet, probably. Like, so many people watched that video from all over the world, and people got angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's-
well, it had such a backlash that he actually removed it
I
from
think
his
I
channel.
think me and you were online where it was like, "Sorry, I robbed a bank
right.
and held everybody at gunpoint. I really didn't want
I
to
really
offend the
didn't
people
wanna-
of Barclays,
I really didn't mean to
Yeah,
shoot that man when I was leaving,
yeah.
but he just got in my way.
yeah. You know, I didn't mean to kick the old person down the steps. Sorry if I offended all old people."
Yeah.
That's basically the apology, you know, and it's like, get a
Yeah.
grip.
If you say sorry if, that's not an apology.
You're not taking accountability for your
Because
stupid actions.
Because
end
you're
of the
saying
day.
sorry if, right? If you're not offended, then I'm not sorry. Okay. Then you're not really apologizing for anything,
God.
are you?
No, but that's the thing. He might be just that much of a narcissistic wank stain that he's just like
I have to imagine
completely immune from
so
self-criticism
many people,
or reflection.
so many people on YouTube are like that have like a lot of subscribers are
Well,
exactly
at the
like
end
that.
of the day, for me, like back to streaming really quickly, we've had like not only Johnny Somali and Fidias, but we've also had like there were people like Suspenders, if you
Yep.
remember him, that was the one also blurring music on the train and getting into fights. I mean, the guy was 50 and he looked like...
That guy is such a bitch.
Yeah, because he was like, what are you looking at? What are you looking at? And then when they came up to him, he was like, oh, I didn't mean it, bro. You know? Yeah, and
you went from tough as nails to a big old bitch real quick.
Yeah, and he basically got arrested in Thailand.
Yeah.
For soliciting with an underage girl, along with 2 other Kick streamers.
Yep.
Like, what is it about this platform?
Oh, it's because Kick is for degenerates. 1,000%.
No, but why are they like not clamping down on this? Because
they
it
don't
makes
give
them
they
too
don't
much
give a
money,
fuck.
I guess.
They don't
You
give
know
a
what
fuck.
I mean? Like,
line goes up. I do not care. Like that, the 100%. That is it.
well, that's the same with YouTube. Like, I was like the same as you, angry at YouTube for like allowing this content to kind of fester. You know?
I mean, well, like by his own admission, he's committing a crime. So YouTube is just letting them broadcast doing crime.
Yeah.
Right.
Kick lacks moderation.
Kick,
See, I don't know my shit.
Kick has
Thank
no
you.
moderation, like 0.
Yeah.
But I think the thing I
didn't know
think
that.
instead of if they were to like sue or ask for like monetary damages, I think the second that JR or like whoever's suing them sues Kick or YouTube instead of the individual creator, that policy will be enforced fucking
immediately. Yeah, immediately. They need to start getting brighter about this
They
because
just need to start suing both of them.
well, we had a fake news scare, didn't we, Dave, the other day? I was walking around the beautiful skyline of Minato Mirai. When was it? 2 days ago, I think. And I was on the way to a concert, and my line group with the boys lights up, and Jordan messages us saying, "It is a great idea. I do agree." Jordan messages saying, "Johnny Somali's got 5 years in prison." Of course, I was like walking and taking in the view. I went, oh, "This is it. The Japanese government." I didn't think about the logic. I just went, the Japanese government has put their foot down. This is good. This is commonplace. This should be a thing. I didn't click the link, right? And then you turned around and went, check your sources, peeps. It's not happened, right?
Yeah.
Which, killed my boner. However, the government needs to start implementing this. There needs to be some kind of a law against nuisance, or basically making like a new kind of law for streamers, so it makes streamers with good intentions able to continue their work, and people.
Just roll it into harassment laws.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It is the stuff that Johnny Somali was doing is literal harassment. I don't know how you could take that any other fucking way.
I'm so glad he got punched. Like, it was just cathartic.
But
even though I didn't do it,
like I said, I think that we saw it with Johnny Somali. He finally got his. This guy is a fucking idiot. I think that in other like generic YouTube news, if you know anything about the Jax Films and Sniper Wolf stuff that's going on,
Sniper Wolf.
Sniper Wolf. but do you know what happened there?
Bloom on a battlefield.
But you know what happened with that situation?
She got shot, right?
No.
I'm on a. Sorry.
So do you know who Jax Films is though?
No, I don't have an idea about.
Okay,
who
so he's like a
people
really old OG YouTuber, yeah, and he is he's kind of like put Sniper Wolf to task because she has like 25 million subscribers, but she does like the most
sniping wasn't working out
fucking she does the most fucking garbage content where it's like I react to TikToks and it's just like she steals other people's content, reacts to it with like it'll be like the dog is running in like the TikTok, she'll be like that dog running, right? Like it's like that kind of shit, right? So he made his own channel where he would take her video, play it in the background, and then play bingo for her thing and like guess what she was gonna do, and he'd like randomly generate a fucking bingo card for every episode.
Does he take a shot as he's doing it?
He might have, but anyway, so like she got really she got really fucking mad because he's just taking the piss out of her because she's just doing like the most like asinine garbage just fucking content,
brain dead
theft, like content theft, because like she'll take stuff from TikTok and like crop out the bottom so you can't see who the original username is, that kind of shit, right? Just freebooting. So she got really fucking mad one day, and she showed up at his house, his actual house, took pictures of it.
Doxed him.
She doxed him, right?
Shit.
And he's like, yo, like that's one. It's fucking a crime in California, so you can't do that, right? But he's like,
It's a crime anyway, right?
not everywhere. I don't know. The laws are, but in where they live, it's a crime. Anyway, so he's like, yo, YouTube needs to like remove her from this fucking platform. She's stealing people's shit. She's out here doxing people, which is one, illegal in California. Two, it's against your terms of service.
Yeah.
And like YouTube is like platforming her, like sending her to like Creator Con or whatever the fucking shit.
Endorsing her, practically, yeah.
And she just basically got away with like a slap on the wrist. Where I think like in that situation, Jack should be able to like sue fucking YouTube for damages. Of course,
right?
Because and I think that if more of that kind of stuff happens, if like a class action is pushed against companies like YouTube, like Kick, where it's like you've clearly broken the law, or someone on your platform has broken the law, and you've allowed them to do it to broadcast it, they would be much more stringent on what they allow on their platform. And honestly, in most cases, I think that would be better for everyone.
I completely agree. We're just one more nuisance YouTuber, especially in Japan, away from something really bad happening.
Yeah, where they just like, straight up just like
sexually assault somebody or
well, there's those other fucking dickheads who are like screaming at women wearing the fucking Mario and Luigi like costumes and shit, and that was in
Crackhead Mario.
Yeah.
Like, again, I didn't watch it,
but again, like garbage fucking content
appears everywhere,
and again,
people easily see it.
It's on Kick again. Go figure, right?
So the more moderation that will come through more of this,
it's not even more moderation. It's any moderation,
yeah,
right? Or if that's the case, like you have to. I think the buck stops with the people who are distributing it, right?
Of course,
I can make a video, but if I can't distribute it, then I'm gonna stop doing it, right?
That's
like
why
that's
there's a thing
the
of
reason.
terms of service, right? You know what I mean? It's there in black and white.
But if the terms of service are there and they say you can't do that, but you never enforce it, what's the fucking point?
But then you're
are
not getting busted for things you shouldn't be doing. But then the things that people are accidentally doing, like copyright strikes and all that, you know what I mean? It's hindering a lot of genuine content creators, genuine stuff actually getting into like the public sphere, right?
But again, the reason why they care so much about copyright is because that shit goes directly to fucking YouTube. It goes directly to them as an entity, and that's why they give a shit. Again, if it just went directly to the company, I think there would be a huge sea change in how people like this are treated, right? Because like Johnny Somali, if I'm the person who's moderating Kick, right? If I see him doing like that racist ass shit, and like I'm anyone who has a conscience, I'm just gonna ban his ass, right? Because Johnny Somali is not making me enough money that I give a fuck about his garbage, right? So I'll just ban him. Whatever. He's not fucking Ninja or like Amaranth or like someone who pulls in like big money, right? I don't care. He's just some fucking dickhead.
Racist dickhead.
Yeah, but like
the stuff he was doing was just deplorable. And I never use that word because it's a smart word. It was absolutely deplorable. Like, you're not only bringing up like the most tragic event that happened to civilians, right? Whatever your opinion on World War II or whatever, if some things were whatever, right?
Right.
You do not go onto a train and just blurt that out. And even the Fukushima disaster, right, which killed, displaced,
like the difference,
and did so much damage to like the local ecosystem in Japan as like the fishing industry or whatever, right?
The difference there is like World War II Hiroshima stuff, like that was involved in a conflict, whereas Fukushima was just a natural disaster, right? Like there's nothing that prompted that. Like I could see you having an argument maybe for like why dropping the nukes was whatever, right? Like either for or against, it doesn't really matter. But like Fukushima is something that was completely out of anyone's control.
No, but yeah, exactly. But like the fact that Fukushima is directly tied into the tsunami, which just swept away families, school children,
right?
You name it, right? And he's just openly blurting that out, mate. Like, I'd like to think I'm a cool, collected dude. If I ever saw him on the train, he's gonna be under the fucking train because it makes my blood boil. Like, there's so much shit I can put up with, right? I'd like to think that I'm an incredibly tolerant person because I'm not, never been to jail or anything. I've never assaulted anybody, you know, because violence isn't the answer. But for him, he gets, and that's his mission. That's what he's designed to do. I was talking to Jordan about it. That's his shtick.
Yeah.
Pissing people off. So then it's hard for me to, like, not give a fuck. But, like, I have a Japanese family. It's offensive. It's horrible. You know what I mean? And, like, I just hate him, man. You know, and I hope that he is detained for 5 years. That's like, if I had 3 wishes, I wouldn't waste any of my wishes on him. But you know what I mean? Like, I just hope the law comes down and fucks them. Because I'm sick of it, Dave. Honestly, like, I just, all the other things we've spoken about aside, the fact that he is being that offensive about it.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, I was being accidentally offensive.
No.
It's like I'm expressly going out of my way to be a dickhead.
Well, there was one thing I watched. I don't use Twitter, but somebody linked me. There was this really cool American guy, and to be honest, if I bumped into Johnny Somali, this is the way I would have probably acted, right? The guy was stern. He blurred his face out, I think, on the video that I watched. Like, somebody edited it after. But the guy was like, "Are you that streamer?" And he was like, "Yeah, Nagasaki Hiroshima was doing that, right?" Screaming that. And then the guy was like, "You better watch your mouth.
Yeah,
because you are going to get your
the
ass
one guy
kicked."
where he's like, I got a fucking problem
Yeah,
with
I got
you.
a problem with you. And if you don't stop this. And then what did Johnny Somali do? "Okay, man, chill. Yeah, don't worry."
It's so funny that, like, whenever there's any kind of resistance, those kind of people just turn into, like, just Omega tier pansies.
Because that's the thing. And then the guy in Osaka that bapped him, like, you see this guy circling him like a hawk. And then he's chatting to, like, the Japanese guy going, "What's this guy doing?" And then the Japanese guy must have said, "He's harassing those girls," right? So then what does he do? Whack, whack. And it's like, and then it happened again. He was like in Miyashita Cohen, and then some guy just, like, punched him.
Yep.
And shoved him from behind. And it's like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? Again, like with Fidias, right, and everything. Why would you video yourself getting arrested? I don't understand why that could be thrilling.
Filming himself getting arrested, though, gave me the best Schadenfreude moment ever. Where he's like, because he had dealings with the police before, right?
They were tailing him for a while.
But like he had like met with the police before, and they had let him go, right? So him, when, like, the police shows up, and he's just like, "Oh, haha, the police, they're gonna, you know, do whatever to me," and then more police show up, and then more police
They're
show
in
up.
that, like, weird twisted game, kind of like, you've got, like, 4 on each arm, and then the guy reading his rights is, like, over the shoulder,
Yep.
and then the paper's here like this. Just
But it's so funny because it's like,
they got him.
like, during that whole event, slowly and slowly, he realizes, like, oh shit, like,
Yeah,
like,
you can see it in his face.
Like, I mean, he's like, yo, boy, like, someone gotta call the embassy. Biden don't give a fuck about
I bet
you,
the
dude.
embassy's just like, glad we don't have to deal with this shit.
We've been getting so many complaints
and then the
about this
police chief,
stupid
after
dickhead.
like a week of tailing this stupid YouTuber, just goes back in. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Handcuff this bitch."
Oh god, yeah. Like,
oh man, it's like Black Rain, the sequel.
I seriously hope that, like, they literally do just throw him behind bars for like 3 years.
They need to start doing something like this soon, because it's gonna open the door for more. I'm gonna predict 2 weeks from this podcast being released on Spotify or wherever, like, you and Jordan will be talking about some other idiot YouTuber.
Oh, 100%.
Probably licking all the fucking onigiri in Family Mart and opening them or something, you know?
Yeah,
or,
well, I mean, hey, we talked about the guy from the Kurazushi incident.
yeah, last week, yeah.
5 years. 5 years.
Listen, I'm not a fan of police, okay? Just
No
in
one likes the
general.
police,
No one
come
likes
on.
the police. But you know what? I have complete faith in the justice system recently. The fact that you mentioned it last week, it's not the crime. It's what it cost everybody.
Yeah.
And it was the influence of the act.
Because, like, think of it,
That's
right?
why.
Like, again, if you had just filmed it and then never posted it, you would have got a slap on the wrist and nothing would happen.
Don't do that again. Do not come into this restaurant
Yep.
again.
That would have been it.
You'll basically be on like pub watch for
Right.
sushi chains.
100%.
Any kaiten sushi in the country, you're barred, right? Your parents don't have to pay a fine. You won't see the inside of a jail cell where they keep the lights on 24/7. About that, on Reddit, I don't follow Japan Life or anything like that, but like a mate of mine, this is how I see all this stuff, right? Because I'm so out the loop. A mate of mine sent me a post on like Japan Life, and it was just about a guy that had been in Japanese prison.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of those posts recently. Weird. And
About
then
how
they
many
give,
people
like,
have been in Japanese prison for being stupid dickheads.
And then they give a breakdown about like, this is what you eat, this is how you shower, this is how you piss and shit, this is how you do this.
Right.
And it sounds, I don't know how true their account is. Also the Japan, the guy that did the video on Big Motor, Japan Analysis.
Oh, yeah.
Really good YouTube channel, actually. He did a segment where he spoke to somebody who'd been in prison, and they said the exact same thing. So following that pattern, it is hell on earth, honestly. Put it this way, this is like a Meiji Jidai law that they've never changed, right?
No, I mean,
The UN.
Jordan has said it, like, Japanese prison is not about rehabilitation. It is about punishment.
Legit, yeah. And it doesn't matter if you haven't done the crime. If they think you have,
that's good enough for me.
Yeah, that's it. And you finished. You know what I mean? If they can find a confession, which is what 99%.
Yep.
But the fact is, with Johnny Somali, he will be let go until he does something outrageous. Because
you think he's gonna get off?
I think this time, yeah. And I think he's gonna do something again. He'll repeat offend. That will trigger something. I don't know the law, but like, if you want to compare it to where we're from, if you repeat offend, you go back in the can. You're in there for another 23 days. You grow to like whale meat or whatever they give you. You know what I mean? Like in the Kyushoku, the cold corn soup, what we're on about. But if he keeps repeat offending, it's only a matter of time, because it's like sugar for the pill. You know, it will do something more outrageous to get views, because he would have lost like a certain proportion of his viewership because they have had enough of his shit.
Yeah.
So to get more people, you attract more idiots, right? So I think he's going to go more dangerous, you know, and he will get arrested and he will be in the shit for the year. I genuinely think so. Like, it's only a matter of time. And you know what? Brilliant. Make it happen, you know.
I think he's going to prison. And the
What,
reason
now?
Yeah.
Over this construction.
I think he's going to prison. Do you want to know why I think he's going to prison? Because they decided to hold him for another term.
Hang on, so I'm a bit confused about one thing.
Yeah.
He got arrested at the construction site, so that means he's already been serving.
Correct.
How many days?
23. They can hold you for 23.
Number 23. But didn't he get arrested in a restaurant?
So no. Okay. So what happened is he had originally been arrested for trespassing on that like construction site.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So he got arrested for that. Now, arrested is a weird term here because it's you're basically being held until you're formally charged, right?
Right.
So the police picked him up. The police can hold you on a single charge for 23 days. Okay.
A single charge.
Yeah, a single charge. And the charge was trespassing. So obviously, at that point, they feel like they have enough evidence that they can hold him for the 23 days while they build a case. Now, I assume what happened was, while they were combing over all his shit to find out what was going on, they saw the other stuff and they're like, well, okay, could we get him on this as well? And they're like, okay, well, we'll hold him for the 23 days. Then, when the 23 days runs out, we'll re-arrest him before we let him go on a different charge.
Genius.
Because it's per charge. It's not like we arrest you and we have to investigate all your crimes at once. It's like, we'll arrest you for this, find out what you did. If you did anything else, we'll keep you again while we research that crime as well. So weirdly enough, if you commit like a lot of crimes, they can just kind of hold you like indefinitely.
Yeah, and even if you're haven't been proven guilty of them, they
Right,
can keep
exactly.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of they call it hostage justice, and a lot of people are really against it, and I kind of agree because, man, it could, like, if you are in, because it's happened, right? If you are in the wrong place at the wrong time, like, you just happen to be involved in something by accident, right? You're going to be held for 23 days, and you can't contact anyone.
Yeah.
Like, you literally cannot, like, you're held in a cell. You cannot talk to anyone. You cannot contact anyone, like, at all until those 23 days. Like, you can talk to a lawyer, and the lawyer can do something for you. But I'm going to assume...
They assign you a lawyer, right?
Yeah. You get a public defender.
And then sometimes they don't even want to take the case. So
yeah,
then that
exactly.
delays.
Right.
Yeah.
So the issue there then is, like, if you are, let's say you're working in Japan, right? And then you get arrested. You just basically get disappeared for 23 days.
Just completely off the grid.
You're going to get fired from your job.
Yeah.
Because 1, you got arrested. 2, you've been gone for 23 days and you've not been able to contact your work about, like, where did you go?
Yeah.
So, like, you've
3,
lost
you've got,
your
like,
job.
somewhat of a criminal record.
You have some kind of a criminal record. Yeah, like, it's not a good situation. So don't get arrested. I think it's very easy to not get arrested. Just saying.
I predict something bad's going to happen soon. I'm not tempting fate. I'm not that kind of person per se, but with the recent trend of... Because it was quiet for a bit after Johnny Somali, and then this guy appeared out of nowhere. And even if this happened weeks ago, it still happened in a time frame where he uploaded it at a time where people were still kind of recovering from Johnny Somali's antics. It's like a steady flow of shit coming from these kind of people. So like I said, I predict in 2 weeks there's going to be another person doing something completely outrageous.
Probably, 100%.
Because Johnny Somali, the Australian guy, the suspenders person, and then this happening, it all came over the course of like a few months.
But it's always the same type of person, right? The second that they get any kind of pushback, they just, like,
yeah,
you know, like, don't do that to me. You're being mean, right? Like, it's like, man, like,
but that's just sociopathic.
Yeah, it's
crap. Like
oh, don't be mean to me because I'm being
it's just
a dickhead.
Gaslighting 101 as well. Like, oh, you're the problem. Like, I remember one of the streamers was going, "Why are you looking at me?" It's like, well, you're the one blaring out Darude Sandstorm in the middle of the last train home.
Yeah,
I'm pissed off.
Or like calling other people racist.
I've lost my promotion at work. I want to get home to my wife and kids, and then you're next to me doing that. You know what I mean? And I don't want to get in trouble, so I am going to look at you just to signal to you that you're doing something bad, right? Yeah. And then you're going to look at me and start on me. And then when I start on you, you're going to go, "You're the problem." No, get lost. Like, who do you think you... Who the hell do you think you are? Yep. Who do you think you are? Anyways, fuck these people. I'm done.
Amen to that.
How long have we been on for?
It is exactly 2 hours now.
Can I just talk a little bit about music?
Sure, if you want.
Yeah, because I haven't been on for a bit. I've seen a lot of gigs this year, Dave, and I did want to extend this invitation to you at some point, but Jordan and I go to some gigs, and I'd like you to come along sometime if you fancy. I went to a gig this week at Yokohama Kenmin Hall. You know, it's very, very Showa. Right?
I know where it is. Yeah.
It's Nihon Odori. It's near the pier. Beautiful location. As soon as I walked out, like, the entire sky had this huge lightning storm. I don't know if you saw it the other day. But I went to see an artist called Kanako Ayano. And
name sounds familiar, but
no cameras were allowed, of course.
Of course not.
We're sat on the second row, kind of Albert Hall style seating. You know, we're on the second like tier. We're bang in the middle, and it was like a noise rock project, dude. It was one of the best live shows I've ever seen, and I never listened to any of the music beforehand. My friend, I went with Dan, and I came away and I was like, "This is insane. This is insane." So here's the point I want to make, because it annoys me.
Okay.
Right. A lot of bands that I've seen recently in Japan. There's another band that my friends are in. It's like a cinematic rock band. I sent it.
The fuck does that mean?
You have to come and see. They're pioneers, and they're only 22. They're insane. They're all jazz-trained musicians. Just like Kaneko Ayano, they're all jazz guitarists and everything, right? Because when kids mostly here have like some kind of classical education in music, right? You see it in the schools. Most of them play piano or do chorus or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or they're in band club or big band or whatever, right? Why is the standard SMAP or fucking AKB48? Because this country has super talented musicians everywhere.
A lot.
A lot of them. And we had this conversation a few years ago on the podcast where it was like, why are we in a nation where 99% of popular music is shit, but then there's 99% of music that is really, really good, but just not getting the airtime? Written, produced,
It's because
arranged by just...
those people don't belong to your fucking happy smile companies that touch little children.
Don't even start. Imagine, right, going through all that turmoil as a young artist. Fair play, Ed Sheeran or Adele. Yeah. You go through all this turmoil as a young artist trying to make your name as a dancer or whatever, and you get assaulted by this really scraggly Jimmy Savile-esque
Yeah.
pedo,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And then they turn around and go, our insurance company, which we're going to give you the money back to, is called Smile Up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Yeah.
turn that frown upside down, David.
But
Years
with money.
of mental
I mean,
anguish. It's insulting.
It comes
Think
back
of
to
a
money.
better
It
name.
always comes back
Just
to
call
money.
it like the recuperation fund for victims of Johnny.
Yep.
Call it something like that. Smile Up. Get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, you've been assaulted. You know, I don't even want to say the word.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go, Smile Up.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
And then the guy in charge, whatever his name is, the guy with the glasses,
Mm-hmm.
he was guilty of doing some weird shit.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
I
they
mean,
went, you did this, didn't you? And then he goes, it was 20 years ago, I don't remember. Still in charge.
right.
He
Yep,
should have been
100%.
out.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Mhm.
Ugh. Anyways, back to
But yeah,
music.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I think like the
Bullshit, honestly.
the
It really
indie
is.
the indie scene in Japan is fucking just like it's
Full of gems.
awesome. It's booming, right?
It really is.
But so many of those groups just cannot get off the ground because there's no backing them into like popular like music. Like I think like people like Ado, for example, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure where she came from specifically, but like I feel like she's one of those artists that like kind of blew up on YouTube and then everything went nuts,
Yeah.
right?
Just overnight.
Yeah, kind of. But like she to me seems like a she's like aberrant, right? It's like that doesn't happen
Yeah.
for other groups.
Other
Like,
people.
there's so many other groups that I like personally, but like they'll never get play on TV. It's always Johnny's, it's always AKB, like Perfume. Like
I get there's a
I like
market for
Perfume,
it, but it's just the quality, like you mentioned. Like I've met some incredible musicians because I do music stuff, right? And I'm in the Shimo like indie scene. Like I go see shows and I know people there, and they're all interlinked, interwebbed. You know what I mean? Like it's a network of people. And
But I mean, like
they're all brilliant musicians. Honestly, like
you look at like groups like X Japan. Like where is the X Japan of
this
this
generation.
gen? They don't fucking exist. Not at the same.
Mrs.
They
Green
do.
Apple.
Yeah, right. Like it's
Great
that
band,
kind of
but
stuff. But like,
horrendous name.
or
yeah.
like fucking like Alexandros or
I saw them. This is another thing I wanted to talk about. I went to Summer Sonic.
or what is it? Official
Hero
Dendism. Yeah.
Chin.
I mean, like some of their what's
Some
it
of the
called?
names are just weird.
Some of their what's it called are great.
So
their songs are great, but yeah,
I
it's
saw
just like-
Alexandros
Mhm.
at Summer Sonic.
Mhm.
Have you ever been there?
No.
Can I divulge
Sure,
very
go ahead.
quickly? Summer Sonic takes place in the latter stages of August.
Mhm.
I don't know why they do it then.
because it's hot as fuck.
Dave,
Yeah, you're probably
100
dying.
people including one unfortunate young girl next to me, had to be stretched out
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
of a baseball stadium where there's no restrooms.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 30-minute walk out past all these crowds to take a piss.
Yep.
For refreshments. The only... And it's literally... They should put tarp over that stadium, right? Because the sun just goes whee over the top, right? Just bananas over the top of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I went in a gin bay because I was roasting, right? I went by myself and I was piss wet through by the end, right? I stayed at that stadium. There's other stages. You got Makari Messe, right, which has 6 stages. That's where all the Japanese artists are mainly. And then you got Zozo Baseball Stadium. I think
It's there.
the Lotte Mariners, right?
Okay, yeah.
And you're on like the coastline of Makari. It's like a 1 kilometer walk from Makari.
Messe is huge too.
It is, and the planning is really poor. Because if you want to,
I've been to Comiket. I understand.
Yeah, because if you want to go see Thundercat, who was playing, great artist, but also catch Blur,
Fellow Canadian.
you are never gonna, even though there's like a gap and an overlap, you are never gonna get there on time.
Yeah.
And there's one shuttle bus that operates between, right? And it's packed. There's a line as long as, you know, it's long as shit, right? So anyways, I get into the stadium. I go up to the seating, right? I burn my arse on the seat. And I go,
of course, because it's been out in the sun.
and I go, this isn't
hours.
good. Alexandros start playing, and I'm like, these are cool. So I go right into the pit.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay? In between sets of artists, they spray you with a fire engine hose, basically, right up into the sky, and it splashes down on you. Now, midday, it's brilliant, right? But when the sun goes down, it is the coldest, most
because of
body
course,
shock
you're right
experience.
next to the ocean.
Yeah, honestly. And like, so I went back out. I got an overpriced yakisoba, gyoza that were like bricks, for like 1,000 yen.
Yeah.
Had an Aquarius, and as I was buying it, the girls that were serving me Aquarius was like, "Oh, cool Jinbei," and like took a photo of me and put it on their fucking Flickr or whatever Tumblr. I don't know.
Live journal.
Bebo. Pixo. You know.
It's probably Instagram. But
Yeah,
okay.
I know. But I goes back inside. I catch the end of Sekai no Owari.
Also
Great band. I think they're really tight. And I look up and I was like, why the fuck is there a clown in an NFL jersey?
It's like,
What the hell is this?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
And then a woman with an accordion, she ruled. But I was like,
yeah,
wow,
their
you know.
keyboard player.
Yeah, you've basically got, just a group of insane musicians. Then Fall Out Boy come out. And I was like, wow, this is a throwback. Pete Wentz literally jumps like 10 meters in front of me into the crowd. He's got like hair down to his ass. Hasn't changed. That brought back some nostalgia. And I didn't plan to see them, but I was just there, right?
Yeah.
And then I waited in that pit for 3 hours. My bladder was pinching. I was piss wet through from all the water cannons. And I was sunburned. I was probably on the verge of getting heat exhaustion. Blur come out. And I saw Blur. And they were insane. And they did the woohoo song.
The woohoo song. I mean, the woohoo song is kind of on par with the name of the actual song.
Yeah, and
Because isn't it like Song 2 or
Song
something?
2. Because it was originally supposed to be a dig at grunge bands, like just do something formulaic. But it was a big hit. Anyways, they leave. Great show, amazing. Enjoyed the whole experience, bar like the almost dying part. Took 1 hour to leave the stadium, and then you walk back to Makari Station, and the police are only letting in groups of 100 at a time to catch the train. So that took 40 minutes, and then the train was only a local. To get to Shinkiba where I needed to go. That took 30
like an
minutes.
hour and a half.
And then I had to go from Shinkiba to Ichigaya because then I transferred there. I'm not going to dox myself any further, but it took 2.5 hours to get home. It should have been an hour. So the experience would be, if you want to see a headliner, in my case, Blur. The other one was Kendrick Lamar and Liam Gallagher. Saw Liam Gallagher after his own show. So I was kind of lucky. But the point is, if there's anyone that you really, really want to see, it's not worth it. And also, the crowd people pushed. And it got dangerous at one point because minus 100 people fainting because of the heat, which was on the news.
Yeah.
Did you studied about solids, liquids, and gases at school, right? And you get like a diagram, and gas is like one particle here, one particle here. Liquid, there's gaps in between. Solid is just like this, right? So imagine when Blur come out, it's a liquid, right? People are kind of, they've got like wafty space, you know, around them. As soon as Blur came out, we were really close to the front. Everyone went, woo!
Yeah.
Like that. And if I didn't go forward, I would have been crushed. It was really dangerous. And I didn't quite enjoy it as much as I would. The bands were great, but I just really wanted to talk about this.
I think the issue is, too, that, like, in Japan, getting... If it's just, like, so-and-so's concert, getting tickets is fucking impossible.
Oh, recently?
Yeah.
Well, I saw Liam Gallagher after. He did like a show at the Toyosa Pit, which is the worst organized crowd control again I've ever seen. They make you line up a kilometer around. You have to go over the bridge, you know, where all the man-made islands are, just to queue up, right? And they put you in like 100, ticket number 200, 300. Your ticket, whenever you get it, you're in a lottery.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The lottery system is fucking garbage.
Which helps prevent fraud, but at the same time, it's awful, right? Liam ruled. But getting tickets for that, we only found one on Rakuten, only one. And E+, who does all like the gig tickets, were like, sign up, because on Sunday, the tickets are going on sale. We were there, refreshing our phones. We had our computers open. They had all sold out by 11.
Like a second.
10 o'clock, millisecond number one. They got everybody to sign up for that website. And they basically just carrot and stick just went. There was no carrot, you know. But thank you for signing up. We're going to bombard you with emails now. You know what I mean? But the one thing I did want to talk about finally is, do you know the band Covet?
Covet.
Math rock. You know Yvette Young? She's a math rock musician. She's incredible. She's probably the best guitarist of that genre, right? I met her in Shibuya after the show. And that's inspired me to take up music again. Because not only was she the most humble person in that industry that I've met, and she spent like 5 minutes with me talking and stuff, and I really love her music and the grind. It really inspired me to just give music another go. So I've been writing a new record.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it, Dave. This is it. You know what I mean? I want to get back on the circuit.
Are you doing like solo stuff or?
So the concept is like, I want to bring people in, of course. I want to collaborate with a lot of musicians that I like. But the concept is around dreams and like, I don't know, kind of being awake at the same time. So I want to record like you saying whatever you want and other people. And I'm just going to blend it into the backdrop. So it's just like a backdrop of like voices. It's part of a soundscape, kind of. I wanted to get really experimental.
I was gonna say this sounds like a more experimental type thing.
The sound is like, it's kind of shoegaze and electronic and stuff. But she really inspired me because I told her like, how the fuck do you like have time to really go through your ideas? And she just goes, just do it. And that's the best advice I've ever received. And it was from Yvette Young from the band Covet, who, if you don't know who they are, check them out. They're great. And yeah, that's all I want to say, really. I just really wanted to touch on music because here, it's great. It's amazing. Yeah.
I have been
see whoever you want.
I've been doing my own little project for music, not like creatively, but just like I will go on Spotify whenever I'm out, and I have like, I started a fresh account. It's like nothing, no algorithm stuff at all.
Good.
And I just went, play me like what's the Discovery Weekly thing?
Yeah, you were on about the algorithm, and I was like, what the hell? Like, you know,
yeah,
shouldn't you have one already?
So I've just been doing that and just like adding it to the list of things and just like letting the algorithm serve me up good indie groups that I've never fucking heard of. And it's been great, like, just hearing, like, there's, like, so many groups that I have now on this one big huge list
Covet are American, by the way,
that like I've never
so it should be cool.
fucking heard of them. Like
Who do you recommend?
Who do I recommend? Oh God, let me. I can pull up.
I just had the Rolling Stones on, but if I don't know how the Rolling Stones are still alive, to be honest. You can see Keith Richards' knuckles from space. I'm not even sure he plays the guitar. I think there's somebody in the back.
One group that I like a lot actually is they're called Lucky Kilimanjaro.
Japanese?
Yeah.
Okay.
This the whole point of this is that every artist is Japanese.
Okay.
So it's getting me like more reconnected with like what is Japanese music now.
Yeah.
Lucky Kilimanjaro is one. What's her name? Where is she?
Did you watch the Ningen Isu video where the old guys and the bass player looks like Voldemort and they do heavy metal music?
No.
That's awesome. Because he's like dressed as like a shrine kind of.
Another one is Kelmiko. Chelmico. They're great.
Okay.
Who else? Like I'm just like going down the list here. Apogee.
They ring a bell. Are they like indie rock?
Almost everything here is like indie rock.
Uh-huh.
Chatomonchi. If
Brilliant.
you don't know Chatomonchi.
Beru?
The song that I have in the list is not that song because again, like it's what comes
Is that
up.
the one where it's like?
But the second I saw was
just
the second I saw was Chatomonchi. I'm like, put it on the list.
They have so many live DVDs and
Tokyo Incidents is good.
They're pretty good.
This one is weird. I don't know if it's on YouTube. It might be. It's called A Crow Is White is the name of the band.
Cool.
But the song is called Cuban Me No ?
I'm Donut ?
So it's it's a great song. I'm just going through a whole bunch here. But yeah, there's lots.
I recommend a few.
Capsule is another one.
Capsule. We sung that at karaoke.
Hikari no Disco.
Yeah. Along with Ginger
song.
Syrup, it's kind of similar, right? So I recommend a few bands. One is Tetora.
Tetora is good.
Yeah, I
like
went
Tetora.
with Jordan and Sean to a gig.
Mm.
I don't know why my Apple Watch has just said, "Am I working out?" And now apparently I've been on a run for like 11 minutes. What the fuck is going on?
Have you heard of Chili Beans?
No, I like
Chili
them, though.
Beans is
Tetora are good. Tricot are also good. They're similar to Covet. And I think the one band I would recommend, they're so weird, so I'll put it in the Discord. Karakorum no Yama Yama.
that's a fucking name.
I sent you the album. So they're my friends who are like recently graduated from university. They supported my old band and I've followed them ever since. The cinematic rock pioneers. I went to their show in Shimokitazawa recently and they blew my head off. Honestly, they were incredible. And I'm going to put the EP in the Discord. Please listen to it. Even if you don't understand Japanese, let the time signatures, let the guitar textures, let the spoken word rap just speak to you. It's just really well crafted. Awesome music, and they're great individuals, and I think they're going to be incredibly successful over the next few years. They already played Summer Sonic intro stage and the Fuji Rock rookie stage. They supported us, and I wish them every success. I love them, honestly. Oh my goodness me. Music, I could speak for hours about it.
We'll do another music episode. I think that'll be a fun episode to do again. Copyright notwithstanding, but
Is Sheldon coming back next week then, or what?
so
This chair's a bit too comfortable.
We got birthday shit on the 3rd, and then the 4th would be when we usually record, and I don't fucking know.
Well, if you need me back, I think I've done all right.
Yeah, I think so.
It was a good chat.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be one of the longer episodes. That's for sure.
I can't wait to listen to my voice. I'm not that narcissistic, but you know, I can't wait to listen to what we spoke about again.
We will have to re-record the start, but that's fine. It'll just be.
Say?
I don't know. I'll rewatch the thing. But anyway, I think that is gonna end it there. You need to go home. I need to start dinner.
What are you eating?
Nabe.
Oh, sounds delicious. I gotta go to the gym because we had a pizza party at work today. Nothing like boosting morale, you know what I mean? But I had.
Sorry about the wages. Here's
Yeah.
some pizza.
Here's some pizza, which cost money. It costs like cent each.
Yeah.
But I have to burn off the pizza at the gym because I'm gymming now and getting advice from Sean and Jordan, which is nice. But like, I don't know. I haven't been for like 6 days, so I should really go tonight.
Mm.
Pizza's delicious anyway. But who's Jordan? Oh. He's one of my best friends, and I love him, but I could happily do this again. But I want to do it with him here because I miss him so much, you know. But he's having fun. Can't explain where he is. I mean, if you go on his Instagram, you can probably see. But he's doing some really interesting shit, and I can't wait for him to bring back some omiyage so we can just tuck into it. Can I join you and Jordan on the next one? Just for a mess around.
I don't mind.
And then you won't see me again for a few months.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah, nah, I'm joking. Me and you need to do midnight again.
Mhm.
Actually,
I agree.
coming soon. All right, so
Right.
thanks everyone. That's been
Have a
Tokyo
good one.
Fresh with Dave and Jordan.
See you later.
See you later, guys. Love you all.